put them back in the windows because Bose, something electric. It was just a horror show. It was a fucking horror show. You know,
I can't imagine you making electronic jokes.
Joey used to try to be clean in the early days when I first saw him.
It was a nightmare.
Joey was trying to deal with agents and managers when you first moved to LA.
Oh my God!
When we first became friends. Nightmare. Yeah, you were dealing with all those people. It was a nightmare.
And one day you go, you know what? It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. As long as you're you.
How did you figure it out? Because I've always wondered that. Because you figured it out, and there was like a big turnaround. Like one day you just stopped giving a fuck. It was weird.
It was an event. It was a series of events. It was that I wasn't dating that dirty. You got a lighter over there? I wasn't dating that dirty bitch anymore. That clears your mind at 30%. I had let go a lot of shit that was fucking scaring the shit out of me in LA. And that's 60% of your problem right there. Everybody had me locked in, bullshitting me that you needed to do this and needed to do that. And you know, and all of a sudden I'm watching you and I'm watching these guys that are clean. And they make me laugh, but they're not making me laugh like the guys that are real.
Yeah.
That took a different fucking animal. You know?
I remember us having conversations about it.
Yeah.
Where you were like, you could go do that. I gotta, you know, there's people watching me.
Yeah, no. It was scary. It was scary for no reason.
Yeah.
It was just the bullshit that they put into your head that you can't.
Well, it was no reason, but it was holding you back.
Well, absolutely. Because people could see when you're faking the funk.
Well, not just that. Like, even once you started killing, it was still holding you back. Like, there was still a lot of agents and managers that had a bad opinion of you.
Oh, but listen, they're gonna say whatever you want to say,
but
until you deliver the goods.
That's exactly what it was.
I figured out. I was talking to Tommy Easter today, and I go, Tommy Easter, let me tell you something. You could be the funniest guy in this town. You go in a comedy store every night and fucking destroy that room, even though they're going to see Dane Cook, Eliza Schlesinger. It doesn't matter. You could destroy that room. Nothing matters in this business, just like the mafia, to the size of the envelope on Friday. That's when they pay attention to you. That's when all those naysayers, they eat their words and they jump on the ship with you.
Well, what's interesting is those people are almost useless now.
Useless.
To a young comic.
This has changed.
Yeah.
This has changed. And let me tell you something. I know you hate this talk, but this is the reality of it because you're an intelligent guy. In 2007, there was a writer's strike. And these motherfuckers played games for 6 or 7 months. And reality TV crept in. There's about to be another writer's strike May 7th. And if these motherfuckers play games, the internet is going to fuck them up.
Well, where it's not going to fuck them up is things like Game of Thrones or things like House of Cards, like things where you need a lot of money to shoot them.
Well, listen, let me tell you something. When the going gets rough, you put together one of these late night shows with Brendan and Eddie lighting himself on fire or whatever from 8 to 11 and put a band behind you. People are going to watch you, dog. The internet's going to change the fucking game. If these motherfuckers fuck around on TV, if these motherfuckers don't settle this, if this goes on like the one in 2007, you think Periscope didn't see this coming and all these fucking companies didn't see this coming?
Yeah, but don't you think the writers probably have a point? Like,
the writers always have a point. No, the writers,
without them, there's nothing, right?
The writers always have a point. But listen, it's 2017, bitch. He who hesitate, masturbate. This fucking machine over here has been growing since you turned me on to it. It's nothing but a wealth of information and growth, that machine. And more people turn to that. You know, I don't do this. I don't do this because I'm an idiot. But people watch movies on their phones.
Yeah, they do.
People
on
watch
phones,
the UFC on their fucking phones.
On planes and all that shit.
My friend.
Yeah.
They'll watch anything on there. Content is endless now. Content is endless. You don't need cable or TV no more if you got a phone. If you're a brokester and you got an iPhone and you're trying to work things out in your life, you could stream Showtime, you could stream HBO, you could stream IFC.
And you can see almost everything on
everything.
YouTube just came out with like everyone's coming out with an online cable service or TV service, but YouTube's is the best one out there. So far it's $30 a month. And you don't get every channel, but you get a ton of DVR. So it's starting to be where you don't even need anything anymore.
Let them fuck around. Keep fucking around. Keep it up. People are going to figure this out and go, wait a second, I got a good idea for this. I got a good idea for that. 2 cameras, 2 GoPros, and Periscope, and a drummer. And you got yourself entertainment, Jack, for whoever. People watch it. People at home craving this. Our audience is not from 7 to 10 no more like it was 20 years ago. Sorry. It's people from 7 to 5. It's IT people. It's people working gas stations. It's people working construction with earphones on. It's fucking amazing. The loaders at the airplanes, they waved the other day. I'm trying to get on a fucking plane. They waved a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
It's very weird. So it's gone to a different fucking level now. This is what we're doing is growing every month.
Well, no one would ever allow you to do this.
No.
There's no executive in this town that would have ever said, here's what you need to do, Joey.
No,
you
they
need to
wouldn't.
have a camera pointed at you, you start smoking pot and just talk shit.
Nobody believed you. Nobody would believe you. No. And it's that easy. It's that fucking easy.
It is for you. No, it's not that easy for everybody.
Well, listen, man.
But it's a shot. You have a shot with this.
When Marin first went to his management and said he was starting a podcast, they laughed at him.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it, you know.
Yeah.
This is something that they didn't know it was coming. They're sitting having meetings right now. What are we going to do? How are we going to get a piece of this act? Well, I know that some podcasts are SAG. You know that, right? They have those acting podcasts.
Really? How do they do that?
We read a play.
No.
Fuck yeah. They have series.
Oh, well, series is huge. Huge.
I firmly believe that the future of entertainment is audio. I honestly do. Because it gives you so much more, you're so much more accessible to them. Like, you have them for the drive, you have them throughout the workday, and then even at home, how many people do you see when they're watching TV just playing on their phone throughout the entire episode, and they're absorbing what's happening through audio? I honestly think there's going to be a lot.
I've always loved audio.
Oh,
guys.
it's perfect.
I think people don't listen enough. I love audio. I grew up on Richard Pryor albums. We grew up listening. We didn't have specials. I grew up listening to George Carlin. I grew up listening to... I didn't watch fucking Freddie Prinze on TV with a special. How many specials did we see later on? Delirious, Rodney's Young Comedians, but that came later on.
Well, there's definitely a good market for audio, but there's always going to be a market for people watching things too. And if you're talking about people that are sitting down with their phones while they're watching a TV show, like, that's so silly. People that do that are so silly. You're playing with your phone while you're watching The Walking Dead or something like that. It's so dumb.
I think I hate it. I don't do it.
Okay, it's just people who are super distracted and childish with the way they look at things if you're doing that. Unless it's a bad show or unless you're like watching a talk show or something like that. But it just seems to me that, like, if you're going to watch a really good show, you should put the fucking phone down and sit down and watch that thing. You know, if you're going to watch, like, House of Cards, you ever watch that Kevin Spacey show?
No.
It's a fucking great show. But there's a lot of really good shows. And I don't think audio is the future of entertainment. I think it has a future. But it's not the future because there's always going to be people that want to see things.
Oh, I'm not saying video is going away. Obviously, video is great, but when the name of the game is advertisers and advertising money, that's like the end goal for all of this. If you're losing people for 8 hours a day, like I think what's great about these podcasts is the people like middle class and lower are really listening to it. There are higher level people doing it, but if you can't listen during the day, you're probably a little bit out of the loop podcast wise, you would think. So if you can't watch video during the day, you don't have all those ads. I just think there's going to be a lot more of that scripted podcasts, reality I think there's going to be everything because you have so much more access to it.
You have a lot of possibilities.
How many people do you think are really listening throughout the day?
That's all I did when I came here. That's how I found Joey, through your podcast. I was listening all day at my job.
Right, but isn't that unusual to have a job that allows you to do that? How usual is that?
When you go on a plane, there's people watching a movie, typing with earphones on. Mm-hmm. Okay? In today's market, people have an assignment or they have to type a report. They have you on. Mm. They're not watching you on YouTube, but they're listening to you. They're listening to Bill Burr, listening to NPR. They're listening to the Comedy Central podcast. They're listening. They have 40 fucking hours to kill on that fucking computer, gaining hemorrhoids by the day. You know what I'm saying? They listen to 2 podcasts. They get up, they go for a walk, they smoke a cigarette, they drink a cup of coffee, they come back, they do a little work, they listen to another podcast. if you're a night security guy, you work fucking, all those hours at night, you're lonely in a car sitting there. That's when you listen. So if we're each an hour and a half a piece, 2 hours, you got a lot of time at night to listen to podcasts. We're the kings of the third crew, Joe Rogan.
Yeah, right?
We are the kings of the third crew. People that work midnight to 8, whether they're in Australia, China, New Jersey, California, that's who listens to this while they're stocking fucking trucks or, fucking product at a supermarket. You go to a supermarket at 2 in the morning and the guys are stocking, they got earphones on with the black gloves and they're putting ice cream in the cases. They listen to everything. To Jim Norton's podcast, listen to Opie and Jimmy, whatever the fuck, Jimmy and whatever. They listen to the dude that used to be on it. It's amazing how much of a catalog they have to choose from.
The first guy who ever recognized me was a sign spinner by my job. I was walking across the street. He was spinning. He went to the Ice House a couple of times. I think he was going to try to be a comic. But
That's funny.
Yeah,
Ice spinner would be the perfect guy. That's hilarious.
This has gone to places where it's, you look at your map at the end of the month and you see where the people are listening to this across the world.
Wow.
And you go, what the fuck? Like when Ari said he went to China, he said 200 people showed up and they all listened to the podcast.
Wow.
They're working for somebody over there, Apple. They work for Apple
Probably,
or something like that over there.
Well, Apple has Foxconn. That's over in China, right? Yeah, that's where they make the phones.
But
that's
they have
the place that has
Americans
the
there?
nets.
Oh, okay.
That's the place that has the nets, keep people from jumping off the roof. Do you know about that place?
Yeah, but how many people actually jumped?
Enough that they made nets. It wasn't just one guy. When you put nets up,
and building the cell phone makes you do this?
they live there. They live there. They work there. They have dorms. They stay in the dorms. They work all day. It's scary. I mean, it's a step above being a slave. And people tell you it's a lot better than what they used to have because they didn't have any opportunity. And this is just how industry works. The way people describe it, they're trying to justify it. They say this is just how industry works. Industry works. You come into an incredibly deeply impoverished area. You provide them with a way out, like something, or a better way. And so that better way of working 16 hours a day, people could argue, yeah, they're working $16 a day for $1 a day. Yeah, or whatever the wage they get, which is substantially lower than whatever they make here. I might be exaggerating. You can probably Google it. Like, how much does a Foxconn employee get per hour? But they say that that's how they're able to make these phones, because they can make them in these factories where the people don't get paid as much. But there's a bunch of people that jump off the roof. Like, they have to put fences and nets all around the roof. They have nets to catch people. Like, it's bananas. And when they talk about it, you know what they say? They say there's so many employees at work. There's like 500,000 employees. And the suicides are directly proportional to how many, if that was like a population of a city. That it makes sense. That amount of people always kill themselves. But they don't do it at work. And they live there. How many is it?
It's the article I found was a little old, but it was like $12 a day. You're gonna get like $400 a month.
Wow, that's dark.
There was some dude last night on 60 Minutes. Pretty interesting. There was 2 dudes. The guy who invented the Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
He needed $700,000 and he saw a factory open up in New York, and he went to these people and he borrowed the money and he bought what's the hot Greek yogurt now?
I don't know.
Jesus.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about? Tremendous. Then he had to buy a plant in Twin Falls, Idaho, and he hires is refugees. He gives them jobs, and people got pissed off at him. And they call him. This guy donated 10% of his factory to his employees. Like, they get 10% of the earnings every month from the company. They break it up among like company sharing and all this shit. It was pretty interesting. That story was interesting. And there was another one about a guy who's saying that these phones are programmed to program you.
Huh?
You gotta watch this. I was too
work?
deep for fucking Uncle Joey. I had to turn
How does
it
that
off.
work?
This guy's saying that the industry is they're programming you through computers and through the phone. His explanation, you got to hear it when you get a minute. It was on last night.
Can you find out how much an iPhone would cost if they made it in the United States?
I can Google it.
Yeah. Google that. Just out of curiosity.
So how much would an iPhone cost there now?
Well, what they cost now, I think a new
$12
one.
a day they get paid.
I think a new iPhone, if you buy it in America, is like $1,000, somewhere in that range.
No.
Yeah, but the cell phone company subsidizes it.
Retail, it's $1,000. You get it for $200 because Sprint wants you to.
They subsidize it, or they not subsidize it. What's the word I'm looking for? They make like a lease, and they put it over the term of the contract. So they spread out the amount of money that you're getting paid, or that you're paying for the phone. So if you're going to pay $600 for the phone, they spread it out over 3 years. So you have a 3-year contract. So like you can get it for like $200 off, and so it looks great. It looks great, but it's just factored into your monthly bill.
Right,
and you have them for like 3 years.
I tried to pay the phone. They were like, "Nah." They gave me a hard time. Like, what?
Yeah, they don't want to do that.
They don't want to do that.
They don't want to do that. It's probably more valuable to them, and then also you can't leave. I guess if you can leave if you have like a phone that is what's the word without a
service contract.
Unlocked,
Jailbroken.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's unlocked. Jailbroken is when you get into it and you can fuck with it, right?
Yeah. So it says that if all the components were made in the U.S., it would push the cost up to $600, which they think would retail it for $2,000.
Oh, so it'd be like $1,000 more. Wow.
We got to pay what? A lot more in fucking wages.
Yeah.
More than $12 a day. More like fucking $200 a day.
Yeah, probably more than that, right?
Yeah.
What's a union wage for a factory worker, I wonder, in America? It's, and then people say, well, the cost of living's less over there. Like, okay, but so's the standard of living, I don't know, man. I'm no perfect person. I don't.
And where is this where they make these phones?
China.
A certain city in China, like a real fucking...
I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I probably should know more. But it's one of the dark things about the cell phone industry. I think they said the new one they're going to make somewhere else. Why did I read? Did I read that somewhere that they're going to make the new?
They changed suppliers of something recently. I don't know. Let's see.
Is it Canada? Did I read that the new iPhone will be made in Canada? Did I read that, or am I making shit up?
I could Google that next. It says the average assembly line worker makes about $13 an hour.
Wow, that's not a lot.
I thought it'd be a lot more for a warehouse worker.
Yeah,
like 16, 18.
Isn't it crazy that if you paid them that, just paying them that, the cell phone would cost another $1,000?
Now, you know what really kills me? That people jump off buildings, slave labor. People don't give a fuck when it comes to Apple. They just don't give a fuck. They really don't give a fuck who killed, who died. People stop giving diamonds because somebody suffered. Tons of people suffer with those fucking iPhones. Nobody gives a fuck. No. Every time I walk to a different city and I walk in that mall and that Apple store, it's packed, Jack. At whatever time you walk past the fucking mall today, that Apple store, they're fucking just that. Those registers are ringing.
Yeah.
How I haven't heard of somebody going into an Apple store with 20 guns, like Kim Kardashian style, is behind me, beside me. If I was 22 today, like as crazy as I was, I'd be taking down those Apple stores.
I don't think anyone uses cash.
You don't need the cash. I'd take all that fucking merch within 8 minutes. I'd get it down to the guys like in heat. Get down to a stopwatch. Everybody down. Nobody wants to get hurt. I don't want to shoot nobody's fucking latte. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to shoot nobody's kale salad. Everybody down.
That's so funny.
You take their iPhones. You take all the iPhones in stock. Somebody should be doing this shit. Nobody's doing this shit. Everybody's scared to pieces.
All these phones are locked in. They're like you could never sell them or use them. They're all locked into different contracts. Like they sell phones that are Verizon phones. They sell phones that are AT&T phones. You have to tell them when you buy it at the Apple store, what carrier are you? Okay, we'll see if we have that. And they go and they bring it back. Like if you just bought a bunch of phones, good luck activating them. They have the serial numbers for all the phones.
You show up in Chinatown with 1,000 iPads. You want to see those things cook like boogie? And
iPads would be a different thing.
Yeah.
That would be a different thing.
I show up in Chinatown with 100 iPads. Watch them boogie. Yeah. Those motherfuckers show up with cash. They take them out of the tea kettle. You understand me? Yeah, that's bullshit. You gotta there's some little Chinese kid somewhere that's decoding fucking phones. I watched that
You
thing.
know what though? I gotta disagree with you because you have to sign that thing up to iTunes. If you sign it up to iTunes, it's going to know what that computer is. It's going to be able to read that computer. And if you have a stolen computer, it's going to find out. Unless you wiped the operating system clean and installed some new shit in there.
Listen,
and did
there's
something.
a Russian in Glendale. That for $10, he'll scrape a computer brand new, and your history is shipped over there, and they're using your credit card within fucking minutes. So, the other night I watched in the hotel room, and I couldn't sleep. I watched where America gets all the worst guns in the world. Did you know that?
No.
Philippines.
We get
Like
guns
all
from
those
there?
guns without the numbers, like the good
really?
guns, the
That's where
ones
they
that
come
you
from?
want to shoot people.
Yeah.
Starts in the Philippines in a little hut. It's a family that's been making 45 since Jesus left Chicago because the 45 was created in the Philippines to shoot American soldiers or something.
What?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Wait, you can hand make a gun?
These fucking Filipinos.
I mean, you didn't know that?
You didn't. You got to see this.
No, I figured guns had to have like
Put on
special
Drugs
things.
Inc. guns.
Well, do you know who makes guns now?
No, I
Jesse James, the motorcycle man. That guy
Yeah,
who
but
makes
doesn't he have
custom
machines?
motorcycles? Yeah. But
yeah.
he uses he makes guns. Like he puts them together.
Yeah, but he cheated on his wife. I don't trust that motherfucker. Those guns will backfire. You go to pull a job, all of a sudden the gun fucking jams. Fuck him. These Filipinos, these guns go directly to Oakland.
Do they?
Oh my God, I was watching this. I'm like, how did I not know this shit? It's crazy how they make these 45s by hand. But somebody told me why they did. The 45 was either for the Hawaiians or the Filipinos. They were made to either shoot either or them would have shoot the Americans. Something fucking crazy. When you watch all this shit, that's when I know. Like, they show computer theft on here and how they do it. There's motherfuckers out there that could do anything, bro. Did you find it?
I found one in Jamaica, not in.
No drugs in the guns. I was in shock. I never knew that. They make the gun without the
Serial number?
serial number, and how the gun is like drugs. Like, it starts for 300 in the Philippines, and then 1,000 once it gets to the States in Florida, and then by the time it gets to Oakland, the gun is $1,600. The same way how it goes across like that.
Look at that picture of the outlaw Josie Wills. Like back then, how did they make guns? Like what did they use for manufacturing?
Well,
like,
back then, isn't that wood in between? Like,
the wood, the handle, and then the bottom piece.
They
and
probably had
there's
like
wooden handle.
at least a dot. What is it called? We have like a mold for it.
Yeah, there must have been some kind of mold, right? It'd be interesting, like how big the company was that made pistols back then. Was it a huge company?
Who made the shotguns in those? These all companies that from these gun things. When you look them up, like, what's the Remington? Well, no, the Italian gun.
Italian.
What's the name of that Italian
Beretta.
shotgun? Beretta. Like the Beretta, you know? That's a family business. They've been making, not a mafia business, like an Italian family business.
That's what I meant.
They've been making guns since time immemorial. So it's like Remington, one of those companies I read.
Smith and Wesson.
Smith and Wesson, those guys been around forever. This was just the regular fucking whoever. I'd be interested. I don't even know what year.
Well, there's a bunch of there's like a West Museum in Bozeman, Montana, and they have all these old guns there, and you can go see guns from a long ass time ago. Pretty sure it was in Bozeman. Either way, they had guns all the way back to muskets. And it's wild, but there were companies. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think Remington was probably even around back then. Winchester, that was another one, like a big name company. But I'm sure there was some other big name companies that I'm not aware of. But when you look at that, you know what's interesting about that? Looking at Clint Eastwood, that is supposed to be the 1800s, right? Like, when did they invent the bullet with the cartridge, where it could just load in there like that in a revolver? I mean, was it even 100 years old?
Well, what year did they shoot Abe Lincoln? That's it. That's the answer.
That's the question, right? Yeah.
Yeah, whatever year they
Unless they
shoot
shot him
Abe
with a
Lincoln,
musket.
that was a revolver.
They shoot him with a musket.
That was not an old. That was not an automatic weapon.
1835.
Yeah, so they've been.
When did they kill Lincoln?
1835.
It was that year? That was the year of the...
I don't know. I think what was the year Lincoln died, and what did he get shot with? Wikipedia, what Lincoln gets shot with?
All right, Lincoln got shot in 1865.
Yeah.
Wow, so 30 years... Did you say 35 for the first one?
Mm-hmm.
So it was 30 years after the invention of the gun? You got shot? You know what? You want to hear a crazy stat? Between the invention of the airplane and someone dropping an atomic bomb out of the airplane, it was less than 50 years. How crazy is that?
It's fucked up.
It's fucked up. Google when was the invention of the airplane, or I could do it too if you're doing something else.
What was
I was trying to find the gun he was shot with.
the invention?
It had to be like a 2-shot pistol,
the invention of the plane.
3-shot pistols. I don't think the 6 thing was developed. I could be wrong.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
They had guns that you had to put one in at a time, like one bullet.
Like the musket?
Like you had to open it if it was the one in the round. You had to put it in there and shoot them.
So the Wright brothers were the ones who, essentially, there's a bunch of people working at it, but they were the ones who invented the airplane, right?
Yes.
All right,
Pistol, just a regular. It just says pistol.
If you had to guess, when do you think they invented the airplane?
Oh, a Philadelphia Derringer.
1735. I don't fucking know, Joe. You know I smoked 18 bong hits before I got here.
I don't know, 1900?
1903.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Can you imagine being that first couple guys?
Nope.
Can I talk to you for a second, man? Listen, I want you to help me with this thing.
Wow, 1903, 4 miles south of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Okay, so if they did that, they invented the airplane in 1903. And then 1947 was World War II when they dropped the bombs, right? Wasn't it 47?
I think it might have been 45.
So think of that. That's 42 years. 42 years later, they're dropping bombs out of them? That's fucking insane.
Yeah, August 6th, 1945.
That's insane.
And 70 years later, they had first-class lounges with a piano in them.
Wow.
With a pig that was cooked, and you could go up and take the fucking pig and with an apple in his mouth, and a piano player on a plane, and you'd walk into first class. You think I'm kidding you? You'd walk into first class, and you had cream and soap and shampoo, and you had colognes.
Yeah.
And you could put the colognes on.
And people used
to walk around up to the second floor. You could smoke on planes. Listen, if you get on a plane and they still got ashtrays, abandon ship, all right?
Well, there was no kidding.
Abandon. And there's planes, there's a ton of them that still got ashtrays. That you're sitting there scratching your head going, what the fuck am I doing on this plane? I'll never go back to Paducah again.
And the armrest or something?
Yeah, and then the armrest.
So scary.
There's still planes with cigarette fucking.
There used to be a flight that you could take out of L.A. that everybody would brag about, but I never got a chance to do it. I think it was like the Warner Brothers plane. I think Warner Brothers, like one of the big studios, had a plane, and you could get a flight on it somehow. I don't remember how it worked. Like, it was really hard to get, but they did it like big shots and big movie stars and celebrities and stuff. They would fly on this thing, and they would fly you from LA to New York in this thing. And it had like couches, and it was set up like a cool nightclub inside. It was just like people would just lounge. You get like 50 people on this plane, and they would just lounge.
Listen, Led Zeppelin had a fireplace on that plane. You understand me?
Did they?
Fuck yeah.
A little gas fireplace?
A fucking fireplace.
Did they really? You're being serious?
No, I'm being serious.
With actual fire?
They had Nixon's plane.
Nixon's plane had fire in it?
They took fire, like a little fireplace where people could sit and drink a whiskey.
Really?
They had like Nixon's plane. They bought like Nixon's plane or rented.
I don't even want to Google whether or not Nixon's plane actually had a fire.
Yeah. Google Led Zeppelin plane. See what it says on there. Tremendous.
I know you guys. I mean, would a private plane ever be something you would want?
Google fucking Led Zeppelin's plane. All right, right away. It's 1,000 questions. Do I want a plane? Do I look like I want a plane? I look like Harrison fucking Ford to you. Would you trust me on a fucking plane?
Yeah, Google whether or not it had a fireplace.
No, just the Led Zeppelin plane. It would tell you. It'll describe it to you.
The name of the article is 70s rock star party plane of Zeppelin.
God. They were probably balling.
They had a bar.
Hard.
They had a bar.
Oh, shit, I have to put this up.
Yeah, watch this. This is the real deal. These guys weren't fucking around. When they came over here in 73, they had the plane. And that manager, that gangster from England that was shooting people, he would get off the plane 6'6". You gotta see this.
Really?
These guys would look at this.
Wow, Led Zeppelin Airlines. God. Were they I mean, there's all the plagiarism things, right, with them. Like, people still say they stole songs and riffs and stuff like that. But Do you
Hold on. Slow that down.
Oh, you want to read it? Okay.
Yeah, Boeing refurbished in the early 70s by Teen Bobby Sherman as manager. The plane powered in the sky service, among others, Led Zeppelin, The Stones, Coke Fleck, Hey the Top, Lou Drop in the 70s, Dark Soup, Stewardesses. Keep going, see what it said it had on that.
So you want me to read what this is? This is fascinating though. Hold on a second. Scroll that down. Look what they're saying here.
I'll scroll down.
No, up. Sorry. So look at this. Probable inspiration for Austin Powers' Shagadelic 747. The starship brimmed with gaudy chic delights. There was a bedroom with a king-size waterbed, a drawing room with a fake fireplace, a 30-foot brass-trimmed bar with a built-in electric organ, a prehistoric video system stocked with everything from Deep Throat to Duck Soup, and 2 stewardesses to cater the velvet-trousered minstrels fresh from their Madison Square Garden gigs. Holy shit. Oh my god, look at this. This is their plane? They're hanging out with Elton John, and he's playing the organ. Wow.
It was a flying fucking gin palace. Look, Richard Cole, look at that.
Look at him with his shirt off. Look at Robert Plant. Did he ever have his shirt buttoned? Look at how these guys
Never.
rocked it. They just left their shirt wide open. Like, that was how you rocked it if you were a rock star. They never did a sit-up in their life. Like, look at the picture of them.
Slow down.
Do you want to look at the gallery, or do you want?
Look at the picture of them. Never did a sit-up in his life on the left. Never did a
It
sit-up
was
in
just
his right
straight
on the right.
cocaine and
Just-
fucking... That was straight cocaine then.
But they were just gods. They were like rock gods. I mean, think about what those guys represented back then. You could see their cocks pressed against their pants.
That was all, yeah, that was
Look at
the-
that. Who the hell had that before? No shirt, and everybody's cock is like tilted towards their left. We'll see them. They're like all three. Well, one of them, second to the right, is Jimmy Page, is bucking the trend.
Yeah, Led Zeppelin was
got
the
his dick.
first.
Jimmy's got his dick going the other direction.
Look at this. Led Zeppelin was the first to lease the plane.
Wow.
After a white knuckle flight from Oakland to Los Angeles.
And a tiny Falcon 20 business jet terrorized the entourage. Oh, so they got a little tiny plane for a while, and they almost died. One time, Led Zeppelin suffered from almost surreally bad press. Rolling Stone suggested the band change its name to Limp Blimp, and it was thought that Starship might earn the group some respect. It was an extremely useful tool because inviting a journalist onto the plane, the story kind of wrote itself, said Danny Goldberg, Led Zeppelin's publicist for the tour, who had been hired to gin up positive coverage. The novelty value was significant. So listen to what that's like. They were saying that Rolling Stones weren't getting any respect.
Rolling Stones never gave Led
I mean,
Zeppelin.
not Rolling Stone never gave Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, they
never,
fucking
no
hated
respect.
Led Zeppelin.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
how could they hate Led Zeppelin?
Hold on.
Like, if you hear a whole lot of love, how could you hate that? band?
They fucking panned all the albums.
How could they pan that?
So they had to eat shit at the end because it doesn't really fucking matter.
Dude, when I first heard Led Zeppelin, I was 14 years old or 13 years old. Somewhere around that. It was when I first moved to Boston. That's when I first become... There was a girl that lived up the street that used to kind of molest everybody. Let everybody let her. Like, she was 21 and we were all like teenagers, and she made out with like everybody. But she had great taste in music. And she introduced me to AC/DC. She introduced me to... The first song I ever heard from Led Zeppelin was Black Dog.
And it blew your fucking mind. It blew mine. I couldn't believe what they were singing.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Then I saw the poster of them. I'm like, wait a second. These guys are fucking crazy.
They were doing something powerful, that's for sure. Like, the fact that Rolling Stone didn't like them back then is so strange. I wonder what it was.
Listen, man, they put those things on YouTube, and I watched them, and I got a little sad. They put the comparisons between songs.
Oh, the same.
And
They're the same songs.
And I got a little sad, you know. And I know what they were thinking, you know, but the trial that happened 6 months ago was really fucking crazy because even me, who was a Led Zeppelin lover, I could tell that there was something, I could hear something there. It's when I first heard that song from that fucking white dude, and I'm like, this is fucking Marvin Gaye's song. How is this that Marvin Gaye song? I grew up on this fucking song. I know it a mile away.
100%, yeah.
And all of a sudden, a year later, Marvin Gaye's estate did not fuck around.
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye's estate was handled by his son, who it was minus 40 fucking million in taxes. And the grapes, and then he cut up. Remember the California grapes? I heard it through the grapevine.
Yeah.
That and the fucking albums he kept putting out. He took all the wrong songs out of the vault. His son turned that around. And his son was a savage. So as soon as I heard that song, but with the Led Zeppelin, the Stairway to Heaven,
yeah,
they were guilty.
They were guilty of a couple.
But I will tell you something. There's not a fucking jury to convict them on.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, they
Well, I'll stay away to heaven for a second.
I know.
No. I'm going to tell you why not. Because this is how it got me. This is how I answered it in my head.
Okay.
I was thinking about it, and it came on in the fucking car. My wife was in the car, and all of a sudden, dog, I got goosebumps. And I thought my head was going to blow up because they stole it. But there's one thing about this, and I know you. The other night, what was the song we were singing as we walked into the fucking theater?
What was that?
What was that song we were singing? Keep putting on Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven. What was that song we were singing? How long have you heard that song in your life?
What song was it? Do you remember?
Free the people to give my soul. I want to get lost in your what does that song do to you? What does that song do to you? You've heard that song since you were a kid. Your mom played it. Somebody played that jam. Fast forward this, Lee.
Okay, Lee, do me a favor. Go to Led Zeppelin stole songs. Show me the comparison, because the person who told me about this was Burr. He called me up and he goes, dude, it'll break your heart. It'll break your heart. When you hear it, it'll break your heart. They fucking stole. They stole like 1 million different songs.
You got your glasses, Joe Rogan?
Yeah, I do. What do you need? Oh my God. Who are you choking there?
No, I'm not choking. That kid's guard is tight. Look at the size of me. Look at the size of him.
That's hilarious. You're a good guy to work guard with. Jesus Christ. Like work sweeps with and shit?
Oh my God.
You know?
And these guys, they fucking
like if somebody could sweep you.
Jesus Christ.
And it's a totally different kind of working out.
I love it.
It's the best.
I love it. I sweat my balls off. I could smell the weed.
Such a good way to work out. You know?
Did you find that video?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's like two different things.
Yeah,
they compare it.
Let's listen.
I think this is Taurus.
Yeah, this is not Led Zeppelin, folks. So stop and think about it. Do you think they stole? Fuck yeah, they did. Come on. I'm not a musician.
No.
I don't understand. Do you know anything about chord progression, Lee? Do you know like?
Yeah, he knows.
I didn't know that existed.
He played that tuba in high school.
See, this is where we need Eddie Bravo. Eddie Bravo could explain to us what that sounds like what the how it's the same song.
No, this is Led Zeppelin.
Is Led Zeppelin. It's the same song.
Oh, the first album is covered with stolen shit.
This is actually a little better.
Yeah, no. This is. In their mind,
but they did steal it.
They heard it, and when they played together.
Yeah. Well, look. Let's just call it what it is. You know, it's stealing. It
is this the only song that they have?
I just chose one for Stairway to Heaven, so I could get another one.
But you know, I think if you look at who they were amazing. I mean, their finished product, like what they were able to put together, was fucking amazing. And whether it came out of those four guys' heads or those four guys' heads and some other people's heads too, it's the effort, the culminative effort of those artists to put all that music together and make these insane songs. The real problem is somebody didn't get credit for it. That's the real problem. The real problem is somebody didn't get paid, you know, and they definitely used it for their end product. So if you looked at it like, say if you had a car, you're putting together a car, and there's a bunch of different components. There's a transmission, there's the engine, but they want to put your transmission in, you know, but they don't want to pay you for your design. So they just copy it and put it in there. And then you find out, hey, but this is all my engineering. I did all this research and development, and all you did is copy it exactly. They're supposed to say, yeah, you're right, here's some money. And then the question would be, well, how much money do they deserve? That's the problem, because they probably deserve a fuckload of money. That's
how
why
many times they played it in concert. It's got to. They got forensic fucking
forever.
people in there.
It would be insane. So it wouldn't just be a matter of a little bit of money. It'd be a matter of economy changing money. So it's going to be hard to get someone to sign off on it. And for probably, I don't understand too much about how the legal system works, but I would imagine that the lawyers that represent Led Zeppelin must be out of this fucking world.
Yeah, no, they're big time. That's the record label. They sell their soul to Satan.
Yeah, you would be betting against the most ruthless savages in the history. So,
listen, man,
relax,
they fucking
relax.
They rob people to death. The music industry.
Did you ever read that Courtney Love article that she wrote, where she broke down the music industry?
No.
She broke down what everybody gets paid. It's really well written. It's so well written that they thought they accused somebody else of writing it, and she got a ghostwriter. That's how well written it is, because it goes into detail about how artists get fucked and how musicians get fucked and where all the music goes, or where the money rather for the music goes, and how little of it actually makes it down to the artist. And this is back when they were selling records. Now it's weird, because right now the touring is where I guess the artists make their money.
And Joe, you said that you didn't think a court would find them. I think if they got the right jury, like a younger jury who didn't have as much attachment to Led Zeppelin, I think they might see it from that point of view. I think it's well known now that artists don't make that much money from their music anymore. So I think some people might.
They tried to win. They said they stole this in 1970.
Oh,
that was the problem right there. That it was 47 fucking years ago.
47 years of owing them millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
Like, you were talking, for that song, you might be talking like $500 million or something crazy. It might be more than that. That might be conservative. Like, you're talking about if not the biggest super band, one of the biggest super bands of all time.
All time.
That toured everywhere.
And you got to remember, in 1973 in this country, we did $2 billion in music sales. I saw that in the 70s. It was the biggest year of touring. Everybody was on the road. Everybody, from Earth, Wind & Fire, The Temptations, Led Zeppelin, The Stones, Pink Floyd. Everybody was on the road in those days. Aerosmith. This was a fucking masterpiece of people. Ted Nugent.
Did you ever see Searching for Sugar Man?
No, the one that won the Oscar about the musician, Elvis or something like that.
Well,
Elvis.
He was huge in South Africa, and he never knew it. He was a huge star, and there was all these legends about what happened to him and how he died, and but his music is good, man. It's good. It just, for whatever reason, it didn't hit in the 1970s when he released it, and so this guy became like a laborer, and he worked construction, and he raised a family, and he stuck around, but he still kept practicing his music. And then one day someone found him, and they couldn't even believe it was him. They thought that he was dead, and someone found him and told him, "Hey man, you've been huge in South Africa forever, huge." And he was like, "What?" And he went over to South Africa, after he'd been poor for 30 years or something like that, literally living in a place where he's got a wood stove, and he's burning fire in the wood stove, burning logs in there to stay warm. They show him doing this. He goes over to South Africa and sells out arenas. They can't even believe it when they see him. They can't believe it. He starts singing songs. They know the words. They sing along with him.
He's coming back from the dead.
It's insane. It's more than he's coming back from the dead. It's like this guy was a huge superstar, and he was impoverished. He was almost living a fake life for 30 years. They didn't even know.
How did he become huge in South Africa? They played his music on the radio?
On the radio.
So one guy found it.
Could be one guy found it. Sometimes that shit happens.
Did he have an album out?
Yeah, he had a couple.
And he made no money on him.
No.
They didn't give him a fucking dime.
They apparently he made one, then he had a chance to make the second one, and he really, they gave it a big push, but it just didn't catch. And they don't know why. Maybe it was what the album looked like. Maybe it was people just didn't give it a chance. But it was good. He's a good musician. And after that second album, he quit. But that music made its way to South Africa. It made me cry. It really did. I just I
forgot all about it. Somebody told me to watch it, and I have forgot all about it. Now I'll watch it.
Dude, I was getting tears. I was tearing up because I was watching it. I was like, this is this story is amazing, because this story is about this guy that just became this weird sort of humble guy who's really philosophical and kind of zen about life, and he gave all the money away. All the money he made touring after he became huge in South Africa, he gave it away. Went back to living just like how he was living before. At least that's what they tell you. That's the legend.
I hope not.
No, well, I don't know. I mean, maybe he was happier that way. Maybe he just decided that at his age, he's in his 60s, at his age, all of a sudden becoming this big star and going to South Africa and flying across the world and making money and not knowing why you're doing it, and everybody says you're supposed to do it. He didn't like it. I think he just wanted a quiet, more peaceful life. And maybe still touring a little bit, but damn. I bought the album. I bought whatever he has out there, whatever I could buy on iTunes. I think it's one. It might be 2 albums, but I think it's one.
And to make sure he's getting the fucking money.
Yeah, I hope
they've
so.
been taking it from him for the last 30 years, these cocksuckers. Now iTunes comes along and gives you a 40-60 split.
I wonder what they would give him in South Africa for all the times they sold his records.
Listen, man, I heard something that John Oates, Daryl
Hall Notes?
Paul Oates, in the end of 1990, they had sold 8 million records, and they both had $50 in their bank account.
Whoa. Where'd you hear that?
On Eddie Trunk, on Sirius Radio, that he's going to release a book now. The music business is as filthy as it gets. I don't get it. When we had Danny Brown, I tried to have him explain to me all this mixtape world and how. I don't get it. I don't get it. I see an album. I buy an album for $8.99. It sells 1 million albums. What's that? 8.9 million. I think, right?
Yeah.
899 million.
No. $8.99. $8.99. Oh, but just think of $9.
Okay.
It sells $9 million.
$9 million fucking dollars.
Yeah.
How much does the artist get? They get like $2 million.
No wonder.
The record label. I walked into the weed store today and they were playing Billie Jean, the video. That's the first time I saw him. When was the last time you saw Billie Jean? 15 fucking years ago. I started looking at it. I thought about that's when a record label put up $500,000 for a video.
Yeah.
Half a fucking
Go
mil.
crazy. You remember when Madonna had that Like a Virgin? No, Like Prayer, is that what it was?
On Pepsi, and she brought the
Yeah.
Black Jesus.
Yeah,
and
that's
people
right.
went fucking bananas. All of them. Then Coke, or somebody signed Michael Jackson, his hair went on fire.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what
during a
started.
Pepsi
That's what
commercial.
started the pain pill addiction. Because when he died, they realized that whole thing was a wig.
Oh, man, he burnt his hair off.
The whole time it had been a wig. He had the scars in the back and the whole thing.
Oh, wow. They lit him on fire and burnt his hair off.
That's
Holy
why he
shit.
sued Coca-Cola, whoever it was, Pepsi, Coca-Cola.
Wow, that makes sense. I mean, especially you consider all the chemicals he used to have in his hair,
In '84, yeah. So that's what
hairspray is super flammable.
That's what started the pain. That's when he started telling people he was getting pain in his neck. He couldn't sleep at night, so that's how he was getting all his medication. And then he'd go to these different parties and mingle, spread the word, and they tell him, stop by tomorrow. We got a fucking bag of goodies for you on the house.
Wow.
And that's what led to him, fucking shooting whatever the fuck he was shooting at the end.
Well, he was taking tranquilizers at the end. They were using like sedatives on him to make him go to sleep. So essentially, they were putting him under sedation every night. They were using anesthesia. They were just conking him out. And I guess when you do that, you go out and shit, but you don't really sleep. Like, part of what you need is not just to be unconscious. You need to go through those cycles in your head. And when you're under anesthesia, you're not going through those cycles. I'm not a doctor.
No, I get you. It's like getting surgery. It's like when I got my nose surgery. 1 minute you're there,
And then
the
you're
next
gone.
minute you're gone. You don't remember
Yeah.
shit about what happened. You wake up, you don't really know if you're tired or if you slept or not. It's kind of a weird feeling.
It is weird.
You kind of think about the lights, you see the lights, and you can't remember what's going on. So I don't know how they can sedate you. I know if you get fucking done one time, it's pretty fucking bad for you.
If you get done?
Like if you get anesthesia, people watch it. People say it's not good. Like these people who get plastic surgery way before the chick died. I had heard about that there was a problem.
Well, there's a real problem, apparently. One things that happens, Dr. Mark Gordon wrote a paper about it, about trauma and sedation, long-term effects of sedation for like major operations like heart surgery. Something happens where it can really fuck with your hormonal system. Like apparently those long-term under sedation times when they got you under anesthesia for a big operation are super fucked. Like your body does not like it. When your body comes back, a lot of people suffer from depression, not just from the trauma of the operation itself, but also from the disruptance of your immune system and disrupt your not immune system, your hormone system. Something about going under the knife under that long, it does some wacky shit to you. And it makes people feel really listless and depressed, and it causes all sorts of, like a whole cascade of mental issues and depression related issues can come just out of long-term anesthesia.
What's the matter? What are you angry about?
You okay?
And I'm not angry about anything. No, it's just... It must like when you go have surgery, doesn't the anesthesiologist have to they have a person there with you the whole time?
That's not what we're saying though.
No, but when I'm didn't Michael Jackson just get that and they let him sleep? It's dangerous. Like what you're saying is
yeah, that's why he's dead.
Exactly. Yeah.
But sometimes you go to Mexico for surgery, you save $8,000, and there's no anesthesiologist. It's just a Mexican named Paco that comes in and shoots you a syringe just by looking at you. He's 5'6", maybe 160.
Dude, I've heard of a lot of people go to Mexico to get shit done.
No, they have to.
There's a lot of stem cell stuff down there.
A lot of stem cell cancer. They fucking cure you down there. Ping,
Really?
Ping, bang, boom.
Whoa.
I know a guy who did one of those things. What do you do that? GoFundMe. He got 50 G's. He went to Mexico.
Really?
6 months, he's healed. This guy used to work downtown, take a bus to North Hollywood, get off, and drive his bike up north a few fucking miles on this railroad track right here.
Do you have to work?
To Woodland Hills, yeah. He was in good shape, and he got that asshole cancer.
Ooh.
Bike seats.
No way.
No,
the bikes
it's a
he wore
joke.
his asshole?
It's a joke.
It might be. Who knows why
No,
Lance Armstrong got it?
He got that thing, and Lance Armstrong got it because he was shooting heavy-duty DDT. That dude was even doing antifreeze when he rode his bike in the wintertime. Fuck him. He lost a nut, dog.
Yeah, I know.
I thought about that one night, high as fuck. I had friends that shot coke. I had friends that went on endless cycles, and they're still cooking. They got their hair. They look good. They got teeth. Fucking his nut blasted off. I have a friend who did, I told you, did blow, and his mother would shoot him with the steroid at the same time. He's still alive and kicking, living in a $500,000 house in Pennsylvania. And Lance Armstrong blew a fucking nut.
Please stop saying that.
Well, he got cancer.
Sure. How do you think he got cancer there?
Well, Duncan got it too.
Yeah,
Duncan got the same cancer.
Duncan got it from reading all that Buddhist shit. That shit gets you after a while. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're from the South. You can't be reading that Buddhist shit.
Oh, my God.
Lance Armstrong got it because they go on endless cycles. You were telling me. They go on oxygen, some shit that to give them more...
EPO. Yeah.
That shit will fucking cat. Now, do a lot of those bicycle people get that shit?
I don't think so. I think it's just a genetic thing. I think, who knows? I mean, it could be stress related. There's a lot of factors that could play into it when someone gets cancer. You know, some of it's environmental, some of it's genetic, some of it's, just dumb luck. You know, diet has a lot to do with it. Apparently, like what you were saying about the guy that kicked it by getting rid of sugar. Apparently, that has a pretty profound effect. If you can eliminate sugar and a lot of simple carbohydrates from your diet, a lot of refined flour, apparently has a pretty good effect on your level of inflammation, and your immune system strengthens. And that alone helps a lot of people who are battling anything, whether it's cancer or what have you. But there's a lot of people that swear that can turn it around, especially if you can get your body burning fat. It's really interesting stuff, man, because most of our diet, like pretty much the majority of the American diet, is filled with some kind of sugar, something to keep you going. Even low-fat milk has sugar in it. Did you know that?
No.
Low-fat milk has sugar in it, so it doesn't taste terrible. There's fucking sugar in low-fat milk because sugar's not fat. This is how retarded we are when it comes to food. Like almost every granola bars, you think I'm getting a granola bar, I'm eating healthy. You're eating a goddamn candy bar. That's a candy bar.
A candy bar.
All it is
I've
sugar.
I've always known that shit.
Yeah, all that stuff makes your body inflamed, and it makes you it fucks up your insulin levels. It does all sorts of weird stuff to your body because your body's not designed to take in that amount of sugar. Like the body that we have today is the same bodies that people had 10,000 years ago, when there was no refined sugars, when you got your sugar from fruit. And that's what people know. That's how your body's designed. When your body wants to eat a pear, it gets fruit, it chews into it, it gets the sugar and everything attached to all the fiber, and that's how your body digests it healthily. But when you get scooped up a spoonful of fucking sugar that came from some factory and they figured out how to suck it out of sugar cane or whatever the fuck they get it from, beets, there's a bunch of different sources of sugar that they extract it from, but it's a refined sugar and you're getting it in a form that your body doesn't know what to do with. It doesn't have that ever in nature. So all that corn syrup, like when you get like a Coca-Cola, that is filled with something your body has no idea what it is. It's like, how is this in liquid? Your body's like, what the fuck is this? Like this dude's got 25, 30 grams of sugar coming at me in a liquid form. And like, your body doesn't know about anything like that in nature. So you get fat, you feel listless, it gets you get tired, you go up and down. That's all insulin crashing. So those guys who get cancer.
I was drinking fucking 22 Cokes a day. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly
how hard was it to get off?
In the morning, I went from Coke to Diet Coke. Then I just got clean and sober.
Diet Coke is not better. I do one every now and then.
Diet Coke is not better.
When I'm getting crazy. Crazy, I'll have me a Diet Coke.
But let me tell you something. If I taste the Coke now, I could feel the difference.
Oh, yeah.
It's horrible. You leave there going, oof, I'll never drink that again.
You get used to that flavor. You get used to that corn syrup taste with the carbonation. It's cold.
Dog, listen, I was a buttered roll, Coca-Cola type of dude growing up, man. Who knows how bad it was for you at those early ages when your body's developing. Who the fuck knew?
You know what the biggest bullshit bait and switch act in the world is? Fountain soda. When was the last time you had a fountain soda that tasted remotely as good as one that's right from a can? They just aren't. Period.
There's some Cokes.
I like fountain sodas.
It's okay.
With sugar.
It's okay, but it's not the same thing. It's not like you don't enjoy it. Like if you get a Diet Coke from a fountain, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's not like you don't enjoy it, but it is not as good as out of the can. When you get it out of the can,
bar, disgusting.
You're getting the full formula when you get it out of the can. It's a consistent experience every time.
Yeah.
You get a cold Coke, you crack it open, you drink it, it tastes the same way every time. Same thing with a Diet Coke, same way every time. But if you go to a fountain, you get some weird sub flavors. Things are watered down sometimes. They get light in the syrup.
The bubbles, yeah. That's the problem.
They fake that it's Coke, and they stick some funky-ass RC Cola syrup in that machine.
Oh, I would know. RC Cola's disgusting.
I would know RC fucking Cola. Shit, you can't drink the Cuban from Coca-Cola. I drank that shit for years, Joe Rogan.
Do you remember when you were a kid and you were poor and you get generic soda?
I used to have
Do you remember that?
Coca-Cola.
I can't do it.
I used to have Coca-Cola in my house, but my mom at the bar used to sell bar soda. So Coca-Cola, 7-Up was Lemon Up.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Coca-Cola was Up Cola, was something crazy. Root beer had a different name to it. So my mom would bring the cases to the house of Lemon Up, Coke, a fucked up Dr. Pepper that tasted like turpentine, and something else like Diet. In those days, the big Diet soda was Tab. Tab was like a motherfucker with a slice of lemon in it. Good googly moogly.
That was saccharin, right?
That was that was cancer in a can.
The first diet soft drink, Tab, and girls always drank Tabs. I'll have a Tab. I'll have a Tab. It's like my mom's friends. They would all have a Tab.
And Tahitian treat was when you went to Chicken Delight. What? When you went to Chicken Delight and got 3 pieces of chicken with French fries, they always had Tahitian heat like a motherfucker. That's that red soda.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
How the fuck did Coca-Cola ever gain any ground over root beer? When root beer is so much more delicious.
It had cocaine in it.
Ooh, that's right.
All those years, people were drinking that shit. When did they take cocaine out of it?
Yeah, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
They didn't. They don't have the active ingredient in cocaine, but they're flavored with coca leaves. They use coca leaves. And Coca-Cola gets its coca leaves from a manufacturer that strips them to make medical grade cocaine.
In New Jersey.
Yes.
In New Jersey.
That's there's a huge industry for medical grade cocaine. And what people don't know, cocaine's illegal. No, it's not. No, cocaine is not illegal. Cocaine is illegal for you, but it's not illegal for the medical industry. So they bring in coca leaves, and they use the flavor from that coca leaves to this day to flavor Coca-Cola.
Well, what medical use does cocaine have?
You can make lidocaine with it, which is a numbing agent they put on people when they're having operations. They pump that shit up my nose.
So when they
I get my
say it's
nose
liquid
fixed.
cocaine, it literally is liquid cocaine.
The kid I kidnapped.
That's different. Lidocaine is different because it doesn't have the psychoactive effects. But what it does do is it makes you feel like shit. It doesn't have the, like, if you ever put that stuff on you, lidocaine, it makes you feel like shit. I put some on my back last week because I had a really bad sunburn, like real bad. I went to Mexico and I fucked up and I didn't put sunscreen on my back. And I was just sitting out there for a while and I burnt hard where the next day I was sweating and I was like, like just agony, right? So they put this lidocaine on me and I felt like a little numb, like it numbed it a little bit. But the way I felt for the rest of the day was so shitty. You just feel like, ooh.
It's the cocaine without the up.
Yeah,
That's what it probably is. It's the cocaine without the
you
up.
feel real down. You feel real weak, like after like an hour or two. Like I guess it's almost like what cocaine would do to you, but you feel like my appetite was suppressed. I just felt like,
It's the other way without
lidocaine.
the high.
And this was just some over the counter shit. There's just some sunscreen spray that has a small amount of lidocaine in, but just putting that shit, or sunburn spray, putting that shit all over my back, like fucked with my system. Like I could tell, I could feel it. Because it's the same feeling that I got when I had my nose done. When I had my nose fixed and they cleaned out my deviated septum, they pumped all this lidocaine up there. And then I went out to dinner that night and I was thinking, I was feeling weak. I feel like, God, why am I dragging ass like this?
It weighs on your body.
Yeah, like I felt weak. Like physically,
Yeah,
like I felt
it weighs
like...
on your body. Not your immune system, but your whole...
whole
when
thing.
you do blow, you feel like you got hit by a fucking train the next day.
I'm so glad I avoided that.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
You got to go, brother?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
No, I thought you
No.
were leaving at 10. I didn't, just asking you.
If we could go, we could stay.
No, we're good to go. I just
Should
didn't
I
know what the
stay or
fuck was
should
going
I
on.
go now?
I got to ask you a few questions. The other night, Dominic Cruz said something very interesting when he came to the show in Buffalo. He said that it's really a lot of mental stuff, you know.
Fighting?
And that's been dawning on me. Like I've been thinking about it. He said that when guys don't make weight, sometimes it's mental. And I was like, wow, I never thought about it.
Dominic Cruz is a great guy to ask anything about MMA because he's so knowledgeable and he's been doing it for so long and he's a smart dude and he's always thinking it through. He's constantly thinking things through and
You guys were
he's on the
really
outside.
good Saturday night.
He's great.
No,
man.
you guys together were everybody was really good. John Anik knew when to talk. He's like that. He's like a meathead. Like he knew when to talk. He was very good, but he couldn't compete with you two guys. You guys were on the money, especially with the Chris Weidman incident. I saw it. I thought there were legal knees from the jump.
Well, it's hard for Mergliata. Here's two reasons why it's hard for Mergliata. First of all, he's a giant. Like, you have to understand, Dan Mergliata is like 6'5", 300 pounds. He's a huge man. I mean, he's fucking huge. Like, he towers over most of the fighters. And so he's above these guys. And if Mousasi is pinning down Weidman, so he's got him in a headlock, right? And he's pulling him down and he's kneeing him in the face like he was. Think of how tall Mergliata is in the first place, right? Like this. Now think he's looking down at these guys kneeing each other in the head. And he's got to stay close by in case something happens. There's no way he could see those hands from where he was standing. So he took an educated guess based on his many, many years of refereeing that both hands were down. And it was so close. You would have to be on the other side of the ring looking at the ground to know whether or not it was touching. If you're above it, the way Mergliata was, how could he know? He really couldn't know. And it's not his fault. He's an excellent referee.
No,
the fault is that the athletic commission, under situations like this, doesn't use an instant replay. And they should, because it's the fair thing to do, to make sure that the fight it's fair. And I think Weidman could have gone on. I think had there been a question whether or not it was legal, they could look at the instant replay and then they make the call. The strikes are legal, we're going to continue. And you either continue them from the exact same position and say ready, go, or you have a protocol in place. Like you have to separate them, go back to your corners, and re-engage, which is bad for Mousasi because Mousasi had him in a good position and was landing strikes. So it's impossible for Dan Mergliata to be absolutely certain from where he was standing as big as he is, looking down like that. I would just imagine it probably looked like Weidman's hands were touching. When we saw it in the replay, I asked them to show me different angles.
Different angles, yes.
I'm like, because at the first they said, look, It looks like it's illegal. And then I said, I don't see his fingers. I want to see his fingers. Let me see his fingers. And then when we went to one where you see his fingers, you can see Mousasi lift him up, which is what you're supposed to do. So the only reason why Weidman had his hands down like that is because he thought that could prevent him from getting hit. He didn't have his hands down like that because it's an offensive gesture. He's not like putting his hands down there because it's a next move. You know, what he's doing is he's dealing with the fact that Mousasi has his neck. He's dealing with the fact that he's getting kneed in the head, and he's thinking the best way to stop is to put my two hands down. Because, like, that's not a position that you would ever be in if you were trying to hurt somebody, right? So what he's trying to do is he's trying to stop the knees or figure out what to do and catch his mind. Because he's been tagged a few times in this round. He got hurt, and those two knees hit him hard. And then the referee tells him it's an illegal knee. So he's like, okay, well, let me take this time to take a break. I deserve it. I got hit with an illegal knee. So in his eyes, he's doing what you're supposed to do if somebody fouls you. In his eyes, I got fouled. He doesn't know. He got hit with two fucking hard knees, right? They tell him it was illegal. He thinks it's illegal. So he goes on about it like it's illegal. So he sits down. Then the doctors come over and examine him. And then someone tells him, I believe it was John McCarthy, tells Dan Mergliotta that it was a legal knee. He's like, it was legal. I just watched the replay and he shows it to Dan. There's nothing Dan can do now. We've showed the replay over and over now to the people that were watching on pay-per-view, and we're like, they're legal. These knees are legal. This is just a mistake. And so then they don't know what to do. They don't really have a protocol in place, so they stop the fight. And they give a TKO victory to Gegard Mousasi, which is crazy, because Dan was in no way going to stop the fight right there. Like, it wasn't like Weidman was getting hit so hard, he was right about to stop it, and then they said, oh, those knees are illegal. They weren't illegal. But I was going to stop it anyway, so let's stop the fight. It's not that. No, it's the fight was going on, and it was stopped just because of a mistake by the commission that they didn't understand. They didn't have a good protocol in place to start a fight up, and they don't have a protocol in place to check an instant replay under really, really difficult to discern violations like this, because it's really hard for me, a professional commentator who's right next to the cage. I'm right there, dude. I'm touching the floor where the cage is on, and I can't figure out if it's legal or not. I have to watch the replay. So Dan, in the heat of the moment, I mean, he's watching two of the best 185-pounders in the world, right? Gegard Mousasi's tagging Weidman. Weidman keeps taking him down. It's a fucking battle, man. It's a battle. It's a battle between two world-class fighters. And Weidman's got hard. He could have come back from that. He's taking those hard knees. Who knows what he would have done? He might have pulled guard and put Mousasi on top of him and got the sweep, and the round goes on. Look what just happened with Darren Elkins and that crazy comeback that he had. Did you see that fight that he had? Jesus Christ. Mirsad Bektik, who's this fucking super high-level up-and-coming guy.
This was this weekend?
No, this was like two.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, he took the beating to the death.
The beating of his life to the third round that he knocks the guy out. Yeah. And it was, the world erupted, right?
Yeah, the place went bananas.
A guy like Weidman is just like a guy like Darren Elkins. He can come back from the dead. You might stop him. I mean, Darren Elkins been stopped. Chad Mendez fucked him up. But he might fuck you up in the third round, too. So you got to give a champion like Weidman the benefit of the doubt. So the problem, I don't believe that it was Dan Mergliotta's fault. I think Dan thought he was doing the right thing, and his mindset is to protect the fighters at all time. If it's an illegal knee, he's got to step in. I just think it was so close, it was hard to tell. And then in the heat of this exchange, it's all crazy, and it's a very high-level fight, and it's super important, and it's in New York, and so when the commission didn't know what the fuck to do, that's when it became a problem. That's when almost I wish somebody was there. Like, what I would have done, I would have said, don't stop the fight, because the fight wasn't going to be stopped. Let's restart the fight from the position that it's in right there. Where you going? Oh, you need some air? So,
I wouldn't have stopped the fight either.
It wasn't his decision to stop the fight. It was the commission's decision, I'm pretty sure. And I think it was just because they didn't know what else to do. I think they just didn't know, they didn't have a thing to do in place. It's hard. It takes a while to figure out how to correctly referee and judge and officiate in a state athletic commission that hasn't had mixed martial arts before, and all of a sudden they have it. So you don't have a lot of experienced referees. The referees are going to have to come from other places, guys like Big John or Dan Mergliotta. And then the commission, unfortunately, even though the referees were in place that were really high level, there's a commission that's really not used to doing this, and it's not their fault. They just don't have the experience. Nevada State has it down. California has it down. Andy Foster in California, he might be the best guy in the business. He's a former fighter, a lifelong martial artist, super smart guy, and he's on the ball with everything. With weight cutting, he's on the ball with drugs. He's on the ball with. He wants to have more weight classes. He wants a weight class every 10 pounds. He wants to do hydration tests on fighters and keep them from doing this. He wants to prevent them from doing this.
Now, do they have instant replay in California and Nevada? Is that
Yes, I do believe they have it in Nevada. I do not know if they have it in California. Actually, can you look that up? Find out what states have instant replay.
I think they added it today in New Jersey.
I'm treating you like you're Jamie, and I apologize for that. I give an instinct. Just ask someone to Google.
I think they added it today in New Jersey. Something happened in New Jersey.
They should do it everywhere. There's no reason to not have it. There's no reason to not have an instant replay, just in case. If there seems like there's some sort of a foul, if it's an eye poke, if it's a groin shot, like if you can't look at an instant replay, how can you tell? And there have definitely been fights where people have lost, where they probably should have, their opponent should have been disqualified, like where they got kicked low, and it didn't look like it got kicked low to the referee, and they stopped the fight. And that has happened before. That happened with James Krause when he fought Bobby Green on a military base, one of those fight for the troops, and he got hit with a low shot and then another one. He might have got hit with 3, but he definitely got hit with 2. And the last one was a shin right across the cup. I mean, you could hear it crack. It wasn't an intentional shot. It's just one guy's really tall, one guy's not as tall. Neither guys are dirty fighters. They're both honorable fighters. It's just an accidental foul. It just happens, man. But when it happens, I mean, look, like, it's not, no one's trying to kick somebody in the balls most of the time. Most of the time, a guy's trying to kick the leg and he just misses. Like, you can't kick everything you aim at, otherwise you just be lighting each other up. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's hard to hit people. So, like, that's why Anderson Silva kicked Chris Weidman's knee like that. He didn't want to. He wanted to hit him on the inside of the leg, but Weidman got his leg up in time and then smash his fucking shin bone snaps in half. That's easy. That just shows you one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time. My idea is like him and Fedor, the 2 greatest fighters that have ever walked the face of the planet. I give Anderson a nod, but it's probably a lot of it because I experienced him live in person. Maybe if I experienced Fedor in person, I would give him the nod, or maybe just call it a draw, you know? But even he couldn't stop from breaking bones by hitting the wrong things. Fedor broke his hand a couple of times. Anderson broke his leg. They all broke. Everybody misses. You can't. So getting upset at somebody for kicking somebody in the nuts, they don't mean to kick him in the nuts for the most part. You know? I mean, I'm sure it's happened before, but most of the time it's an accident.
But I throw a leg kick, you move back 3 inches. It's that fucking
Or
easy.
he's throwing a kick at the same time you're throwing a kick. That's more likely. I just kick guys in the balls all the time accidentally. Because I was short. Because I was fighting guys who were tall, and I was 5'8", and these guys were like 6'2". We both kick at the same time. I'd kick them right in the nuts accidentally. Just happened. Just like if you're super aggressive, you're not allowing someone, like openings, you just try to attack all the time. There's a lot of collisions. You know, when you have collisions, anything can happen. Like one guy kicks the same time you're kicking, it's whoever gets there first. Whoever gets there first, whoever gets past, knees and shins, and whoever sneaks it in there. It's just unfortunate for Weidman, unfortunate for Mousasi, unfortunate for the whole division.
No rematch.
I don't know if they will. Who knows? There might be a reason why one of them gets a shot at the title. Or why Mousasi does. Yeah. See, Mousasi is one of the best fighters in the world, but he's lost a few times. I mean, guys have beaten him. Jacare manhandled him pretty recently. He submitted him. He just got him on the ground and went through him. He's a goddamn shark. Jacare is a fucking shark, man. He gets you on the ground.
Mousasi. He still has.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong.
He still could turn this around. He's 31.
Well, Uriah Hall knocked him out too. No, listen, I'm saying he's a bad motherfucker. Do not get me wrong. I'm not diminishing his abilities. I'm his biggest fan. I think Mousasi's a cool customer. He goes in there deadpan, doesn't give a fuck.
How many fights has he
lights
had?
Up anybody. He's had 50 professional fights. This weekend was his 50th professional fight. Yeah,
he was fucking like
cool as a cucumber. Super respectful. He's very respectful of Chris Weidman, but said it like he felt it. It's like, look, he said about Weidman, Weidman was gaming the system. He was trying to not get kneed in the head. That's why he put his hands down there. He didn't put his hands down there to fight. He was trying to get out of it. And then when he got hit with the illegal knee, he acted like he couldn't go on. He was hoping that they were going to stop the fight. That's Mousasi's take on it. So the whole thing it's unfortunate.
Very interesting.
But Mousasi's a bad motherfucker. You see how good a striker he is in that fight. You realize, like, wow.
Listen, he took him down, but he kept getting up. And even in the scramble, when he mounted him, he fucking sluck out the back door.
Yep.
I was really impressed. He did his homework. So I thought it was all starting to come together from Masasi. Like, I really thought...
So we'll see the difference between Weidman, who's a really high level submission artist. He's real high level. I mean, he's a bad motherfucker, and his ground and pound is excellent. He's just really world class with his wrestling and his ground and pound. And then there's another level of the matrix removed, and that's guys like Damian Maia. That's guys who just constrict. They get people like Carlos Condit and just constrict them, where they don't even have a chance. Do you see Oliveira versus Will?
oh my God.
Will Brooks this weekend?
Yeah.
Same shit.
Same shit.
I was saying before the fight, I was like, Oliveira has a super technical ground game. Like, he gets submissions in all sorts of different ways. Calf slicers, rear naked chokes, guillotines. He gets you on the ground. You're in a world of shit. He's a bad motherfucker. And the same way he submitted that guy with a standing rear naked, he did that to Efrain Escudero in his UFC debut.
Where was Efrain today? When you said that, I was like, where the fuck
I don't know. He had a few wins in the UFC. He fought in Mexico. He had a win over there. He was looking really good. He was looking way more technical, more relaxed. And he's with John Crouch now, with Benson Henderson down there in Arizona. A lot of real good fighters out
And
there.
I didn't know Ryan Bader went to Bellator.
Yep, he went to Bellator too.
They threw some money at him.
Yeah, and so did Lorenz Larkin. Lorenz Larkin is fighting Douglas Lima, who's the champion in Bellator. That's a big fight. It's a scary fight. They have a real division now. Okay, they have Lima. They have Koreshkov. Koreshkov is the guy that fucked up Benson Henderson. He's a bad motherfucker from Russia. And then you got Douglas Lima, who just knocked out Koreshkov. It was a great fight, but Lima cracked him. And you got, I mean, if they were smart, they'd bring back Ben Askren. Because the UFC doesn't want Ben Askren. The Bellator should take Ben Askren and bring him back.
Where is he now?
He's over in ONE FC. And they're throwing all this money around. Ben Askren could spank some fucking people. His wrestling is so fucking good that he manhandled Lima. Lima just couldn't do anything with him. He's done it to a lot of guys. He did it to Koreshkov. Manhandled him. They can't do anything to him. He just takes him down and holds him down and beats the shit out of him. There's nothing they can do about it. He's just so much better as a wrestler than all those other guys that when he gets in there with them, he almost like makes the fight boring for some people. But for me, it's fascinating, especially if you know how good these guys are. And you see Askren just dragging him to the ground left and right, and takes a shot too, man. Takes serious shots coming in. Takes knees to the chin, eats them like candy, grabs guys, dumps them on their ass, and holds them down there and punches them in the face. And it's very few guys have been able to stop him. In fact, I don't think anybody. I don't think he's Jay Hiron from the UFC. It was the only guy who gave him a tough fight because he's a good wrestler. That was a real close fight.
So the next card is May.
For Bellator?
No, the UFC.
For
That's
UFC.
The next big one is Dallas.
May 12th. Yeah. But I was just saying that there's like that division is Rory McDonald now.
Right. Rory and somebody else, right? Who else?
Rory McDonald, Lorenz Larkin, Douglas Lima. There's a serious division at 170 now. So that's good for everybody. That means these divisions, even outside the UFC, are stacking up. And it could get to the point someday in the future where, Bellator's a Viacom. They could develop some huge superstar, some Conor McGregor style superstar, and there could be a big money fight with a superstar from the UFC and a superstar from that organization. An undeniable thing, sort of like what's going on with McGregor. What's going on with McGregor right now is McGregor is facing an undeniable, Floyd Mayweather is an undeniable force, undeniable when it comes to financial advantage for being in business with him. He's Floyd Mayweather. He's one of the biggest pay-per-view, if not the biggest pay-per-view seller in boxing history, right? So him versus Conor is just, there's so much money there, everybody will work together. And that could conceivably happen someday with Bellator. And they're doing the right thing to get into that kind of a position. By having like really legit guys like Lorenz Larkin, super underrated guy. Lorenz Larkin's one of the most underrated guys in the sport. And then Lima, who's a fucking beast. Rory McDonald is still one of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet. He's super well-rounded. He might school all those guys. He might school them all. And you got Paul Daly. Paul Daly's over there. Semtex, that motherfucker knocks people dead. He's just knocking people dead. He has the nastiest left hook in all of MMA. Just cracks guys. And he's a left-handed guy, but he fights orthodox. So his left hand is his power hand, but it's his forward hand. He'll knock you out with either hand. Don't get it wrong. Like his last fight, he knocked dude out with a flying knee. Really tough kid too. Just boom, hit him with the same kind of flying knee that Yoel Romero hit Weidman with. Just one of those where the guy's out before he even goes to the ground, and they bounce. But Paul Daly does that to everybody. He's terrifying. They got that Michael Page 2 guy. You ever see that karate guy? He's the guy that broke Cyborg's skull. Where Cyborg, his skull caved in and they literally put plates in it. Did you see that? That guy's over there too. That's the same division. So that's a division full of killers. So one guy could rise to the point where, and that's good for everybody. That's good for the fighters. Everybody makes more money. It's good for the UFC. It's good for them.
I barely got enough time to watch the UFC, all right?
Yeah.
Leave me alone with Bellator. I don't know nothing about Bellator.
You got to watch kickboxing.
Every time I turn it on, I go, what am I watching? I'm so spoiled with the UFC watching and the shoots and stuff.
Did you see Bellator kickboxing? Did you see that this weekend? I had some friends in that.
Otherwise, nothing.
It's pretty badass, man.
UFC.
John Wayne Parr was in there.
He's always fighting. He's always beating somebody up smoking cigarettes. He's the man of steel.
No. He doesn't smoke cigarettes.
What's the guy that smokes cigarettes? There's one of those.
Joe Schilling.
Joe Schilling.
Yeah.
That's the man of steel. He didn't fight this week?
No, not this card. But he's fighting for Bellator kickboxing, too.
What do you got the rest of the week, Tarzan?
Just hanging out, doing some sets, Doing Tripoli's show in the main room on Wednesday. Tripoli got a show.
The Naughty Show?
I don't know. He's put together his own show. Wednesday in the main room. Callan's doing it. Schaub's doing it. Brian's got a show, too. I'm doing Brian's show over at Laugh Factory. Holla.
You're on every fucking
Having some fun. How fun was Buffalo? It's a good time.
Buffalo's always good.
That late show was late, though, man. 11 o'clock at night is a late show for Buffalo on a Friday.
I gotta be honest with you. They were a lot better than what I thought.
Oh, yeah, they were great.
I saw people at 7 o'clock getting tuned up for the 11 o'clock show. I thought it was going to be hand-to-hand combat comedy, and I was prepared for it. I was like, it's going to be hand-to-hand comedy. And I got to tell you something. They were very well behaved.
Oh, they were great.
I watched the half hour of your set. They were very well behaved.
Yeah, they were great.
I was in shock for an 11 o'clock show.
Well, you're going somewhere interesting now. Where are you going this weekend? When are you going next? You're going somewhere next.
I go to Oxnard.
Oh, that's right. You're doing Levity and Oxnard.
Then I go to
the new one.
Bakersfield.
Have you done that place yet? The Oxnard place?
No, this is my first time.
It's fucking great.
I'm doing 420 weekend. Then I go to Milwaukee to see Duke Rufus.
Oh, beautiful.
And I fly the next day to Michigan.
Oxnard is like a road club, a really good road club. Like, they're super happy that someone's coming out there. Because for the longest time, they had to drive. You live Oxnard, you live an hour and 10, hour and 20 outside the city. They had to drive into Hollywood to watch shows. So when a guy like you comes to them, they're so happy. They drive 10 minutes from their house, and the club's amazing. It's a big place, too. It's like 300 and something people, maybe even more, maybe 400.
Look, I told you I was really impressed with Levity Live Nyack. Very impressed. Very impressed.
Yeah, they're doing good shit.
The chef at Levity Live was the chef from Oxnard. He had just worked a weekend with you. But they're hiring a new chef at Levity Live, so he's out there training them.
Uh-huh.
I had a phenomenal time at that club. It really opened up my eyes. I was like, Jesus Christ. I forget up this part of New York.
Oh, yeah.
This part of New York is fucking different. It's, it just, I miss that. I miss that 914 attitude. It's in Rockland County, and you have
a little aggressive.
You have a little aggressive. What's the other place that's Westchester's close by?
Yeah.
I missed that.
That's
it was
New
pretty
Rochelle.
Interesting. New Rochelle, people were there. Bronx people came.
Yonkers.
Yonkers people were there. Very fucking tremendous, my friend. I'm happy you fucking made time for me, dog.
Oh, I'm happy to do it. I love
I'm happy you came down here on Monday night, fucking around, talking about different shit.
I love this place. I haven't been here. I love how you got it set up.
Lee Sayat, look at him. He's got
Lee Sayat,
2,200 milligrams of death tonight.
Did you? That's what's going on.
Look at this shape, man.
Did you put all these lights in?
No.
Kevin, our friend from, what's the name of the company?
AfterBuzz.
Oh, he does it professionally?
He could do it in 2 fucking minutes.
Oh,
it's amazing.
He's a lighting guy, like a TV lighting guy?
Yeah, he just had a funny feeling about lights and stuff like that.
That's badass.
Just to give it
It's awesome. You guys have a cool spot. I love it.
I love podcasts, and I like the way the studio looks and stuff like that. But it was always like, I always wanted this to be something that you listen to, and like it felt illegal that you were listening to it. Like,
this does feel illegal.
I never wanted it to be polished. Like, I wanted it to be like,
yeah.
Like they had to sit by that thing. Come on, it's like listening to Led Zeppelin in Cuba.
Yeah.
You gotta listen to it under the stairs. It's fucking crazy. Can you imagine that?
You ever listen to Doug's?
Doug's what?
Stanhope's podcast?
No, I didn't even know he had
It
one.
starts mid-sentence. It's like he's in the middle of like, fucking, there's got to be is it on? Is this fucking thing on? It's on. You know, and he just, you know, he's at a bar. He's got this place in his house.
He's always set up, I think, right?
Well, he's got a place in his house that, like, it's called the Fun House. It's got like a bar, and it's all painted weird colors and shit. And they do the podcast live from there, and everybody's drunk and chiming in, and it's hilarious. And it's, you know, it's just Doug kind of holding court. And the beautiful thing about it for him, he says, is that he doesn't have to go to open mic nights. He's like, he can just do that, and when he does that, from there, like, he's riffing and ranting all the time, and that's allowing him to develop material. He gets ideas and works on them, and they allow him to riff and rant.
He puts it on once a week.
I think he does it whenever the fuck he wants. He's done like series of them where it's like 3 or 4 in a day. Like he did like 4 or 5 in a day once. They were all 10 minutes long. We'll be right back. You know, this episode of fucking, what is it, 11? What are we up to, 11? This is such a character. I mean, he's the real deal. You know, there's a lot of people that like pretend to be that kind of a guy.
There's a ton of them in Hollywood that want to be Stanhope, but he's no.
He lives 7 miles from Mexico.
Is Bingo good?
She's better. Yeah, she's better.
Are they together?
Yeah, he's helping her. She's going through. She fell and hit her head, and apparently I would have to get the full rundown from him what the exact medical condition was. But I know she was in a coma for a while. It took her a while to come out of it. It's super scary shit, man. Someone falling down a flight of stairs and hitting their head is super bad. But apparently she's talking now. Her sense of humor's back, so she's recovering.
She has seizures, doesn't she?
I don't know.
Some type of seizures.
I don't know. There's a cave for sale in Doug's community. Fucking cave out in the desert. Have you seen it?
No.
Yeah, it's a famous cave. And Doug was talking about like buying the cave. Like a bunch of people.
He bought like 5 houses in the neighborhood.
He owns half the city.
He owns half the city.
Whatever houses go up for sale, he winds up buying them. He could like no bullshit. That one day could be Dougtown. Like it really could.
Like Clint Eastwood and Hang 'em High.
All you'd have to
when
do.
He painted the town red and locked it up. He could do he could be the mayor. Have his own bar.
Isn't he the king of the town now? He got his fans to make it the #1 small city in America or something. Like the #1 rustic town in America.
Well, it was really cool even before that. Like before that, people did enjoy that town. It's an artist community. It always had a good reputation. That's why he moved there in the first place. But what I'm saying is, like, if you really want, if a real estate agent came in, and the real estate agent was like, look, we're going to turn this into Dougtown. We're going to offer you a lot of money for your house. How much is your house worth? And the guy's like, well, I'd like, $150,000 or whatever, how much the house has cost. And he would, they would find someone from somewhere that wants to relocate to Bisbee. And they have enough money to buy a house. And so they go, I want to move to Dougtown. I've heard there's minimal rules. The bars are open 24 hours a day. And you get to meet Doug Stanhope. And then people just start moving in. If you have a big world, right? 350 million people in this country. You're telling me you couldn't find 30,000 people that want to live with Doug Stanhope?
Oh, please. No heartbeat.
No heartbeat. So you just get this real estate agent to start fucking putting deals together. People start buying houses.
Like Copland.
Yeah.
One of the houses just Dougland.
And there'd probably be a few scalpers who buy houses. They pretend, I'm a huge fan of Doug's. Doug's been amazing from the beginning. And then they buy the house, try to spike it up and sell it for even more. There'd be a lot of that, for sure. But you really could do that. Like, he is one of the few guys that could legitimately start a cult. And I would think about going. I would go, I can't do that.
I'd go down there with Viceland. That's what I'd fucking do. And look at those lunatics.
Bring David Cho and go down there. Fuck. He's having fun, though.
Has he ever had an incident from giving his address out? Because I know he just gives it out.
He doesn't do that anymore.
Not anymore, okay.
But it's still out there.
Yeah, people found their way down there.
Too many people just started showing up at the Super Bowl parties and shit. I tried to tell him, I'm like, don't do that. Yeah. I thought it was cute.
You don't want people showing up at your fucking house, bro. Especially Doug. No.
But Doug really likes chaos. He enjoys those chaotic situations. He really does.
When I lived with Doug, he had a bunk bed. I lived on the bottom. Big Ron lived on the top. I had to stay with Doug for like 6 weeks. It was fucking craziness. He doesn't eat. He just drinks coffee and smokes cigarettes. Every month he's quitting. He's been quitting cigarettes for how long now?
Yeah, he's not going to quit.
You know, he don't give a fuck.
He does give a fuck, but he doesn't want to. He's quit for a few times. He has quit a few times, but he just gets back to it. It's a weird one, man. You were caught by that grip.
Yeah, but you could get off it. It's tough, but once you get off. But it's funny how he never really gave a shit. Like, he picked up, left. He shows up with a guy that's a manager. He met him at a sports lounge in Tupelo, Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Like, that he had like big time management, and that's done.
Yeah.
He does all his bookings himself. He hooked up with this lunatic that got him the DVD, the CD. What's his name? Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
his fucking buddy.
Johnny Depp.
Doug really is like in the air of Lenny Bruce. Like, Doug is just crazy. He's out there.
He's legit.
He's legit.
He's
That's
as
the way
legit
it
as they
is.
get.
That's the way it is. Well, I was watching this special when it first came out, and I'm sitting there going, how many years do I know this guy? And he stuck to the script. Like, this was not, if anything, he got fucking crazier. If anything, he went deeper.
Yeah.
Like, I've known him since 91. He was a good-looking dude with a haircut.
I got a picture of him.
Yeah, and then he fucking went on the evening at the Improv, and then he started headlining, and then he won San Francisco, and he was buck wild. He was just destroying Hollywood. Yeah, that's him. They would put him up at the store at fucking...
Jesus. Doug Stanhope with a mullet.
Oh, my God.
In a pool up to his chest.
That's in Vegas.
With a glass of wine.
I didn't even
Or
notice
some sort
the
of
pool.
a drink.
That's a fucking Vegas.
I'm gonna put this. I'll put this on Instagram later. I keep this close and dear to my heart.
Where'd you take that picture? Somebody sent it to you.
No, it was on the wall at the store.
Really?
Yeah, they have it at the store. It's like one of those super old headshots that they've stowed away there.
That was his headshot?
I still remember that picture.
That was his headshot.
I still remember that picture at the broker. That was it.
That was probably Doug when he was 20 years old.
Headlining tonight.
All those triple runs.
Well, he probably wasn't even headlining back then.
No, he wasn't headlining back then. When I met him, he was featured at the triple run.
Everybody had to try some wacky thing when you were taking your photo. Try to stand out,
I had an egg cream. My first headshot had an egg cream in my hand. Some guy took it behind the fucking Abo's Pizza in Boulder.
Oh, that's
Some
funny.
dude kept telling me, I'm a photographer. Let me take your headshot. I go, well, hurry up. He goes, well, what do you want? I go, I don't know. I'm drinking this. And he just took pictures. And that was my first headshot.
Did he have you take one with a mustache? Like an egg cream mustache?
Listen, no. What, he retarded? What, I'm a kid from fucking Hershey's? He just said, stand behind the light. And he took 2 pictures, and that was my headshot.
Wow.
What was your first headshot?
Jeff T took it.
In Boston?
Jeff T, the stand-up comedian, who wound up marrying that chick that's on The View. What's her name? The one who's really religious? The black girl on The View? God damn it. Why is it?
Sherry Shepherd.
Sherry Shepherd.
Yeah.
Sherry Shepherd, who was always at the store. You remember Sherry Shepherd from the store?
Fuck yeah.
Before she was on The View, she was a comic. She was always hanging at the store. She always had a clean set. Always, very clean. Very nice. Sherry Shepherd is very
So who
nice.
married her now?
My friend Jeff T from Boston.
Really?
Yeah.
That's who's married to her
I
now?
think they got divorced. But they were married way back in the Disney. But Jeff was an amateur photographer. And Jeff, he took my first headshot. So stupid looking, me with a leather jacket on, looking like an asshole. I took another one afterwards with me looking like an asshole. I've taken several headshots. Douchey when I was like 22.
You don't want to find those things.
It's so
you.
bad. They're so bad. I had like a tank top on with like a leather motorcycle jacket, and I was looking sultry.
She just went to war with her ex-husband over a kid. She had the eggs.
Probably Jeff.
And he gave her the eggs, and he bought the eggs. So
Well, it's her eggs. Maybe the
he was
embryos.
going to adopt
Probably
the
frozen
baby.
embryos, maybe.
Yeah, it went fuck. Those
I don't know if that's Jeff.
Listen,
Maybe
brother,
that's the
those
second.
movie stars are fucking crazy. Those View bitches, they're fucking. You get
Everybody's crazy, Joey. Isn't everybody crazy?
No, not like that.
But everybody's a little crazy.
Oh, please.
We're all crazy.
I still hear voices, but I fucking maintain, brother. The craziness is what God is here, Joe.
Yeah.
Nobody sane would do this. Nobody. People would back out of this after 5 months and go, what am I fucking crazy?
We should do a tour. Like a real tour. Figure out like who's going to be on it. Do like 4 of us. Ari, I'm sure, is on his own thing right now. He's probably on.
Ari's
probably
nothing.
I bet you can barely talk to him right now. He's probably learning new languages and shit.
Ari's that dude that got caught with hash in that movie Midnight Express. He's somewhere talking
And he jerks off on his wife's tits when she comes to visit him. Remember that?
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
But no, he's somewhere learning a culture, enjoying himself.
Enjoying himself. But putting together something like that, maybe Segura wants to hop in, maybe you, me, maybe Hinchcliffe. Just figure it. We'll figure it out.
With just a bunch of people in and out, who's ever available. Yeah,
and just have some fun. Because like one of the things that I was thinking when we were doing those shows in Buffalo is like how much fun we're having, hanging out, doing these just amazing shows. They're so fun. You know, like whenever we're at the store and we're hanging out doing these shows, I'm like, these are amazing nights. It's so enjoyable, and it jazzes me up. Like it gets me pumped up about comedy. You know, it gets me excited to do more of it. Not that I'm always excited about it, but even more so, you know? You think it would happen with like Kings of Comedy or the Blue Collar Comedy Tour or, you know, any of those things. Those groups of guys that get together and put together a show.
They're doing it now still.
Who's doing it?
Eddie Griffin, George Lopez.
Yeah. The Black and Brown Tour, right?
Blue, Hoogly, who else?
Felipe's on the tour right now.
On that tour?
A different one with...
Oh, he's with Eddie Epps and those guys. No, he's with...
Mike Epps, right? He's got a fucking kangaroo.
Yeah, he got Mike Epps.
He got in trouble with the kangaroo. You see that? Yeah, Mike Epps had a kangaroo on stage. I don't know what was going on, but he had a kangaroo on stage. That is such a funny thing.
Mike Epps and Tommy Ward were at war.
Tommy Ward?
Thomas Ward. Remember somebody was at war with Mike Epps and they punched him in the face at the store, and then he caught him somewhere and knocked him out somewhere.
Mike Epps been in war with a couple guys. He got in war with Cat Williams. He got in war with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was the most hilarious. You gotta bring your ticket sales up. If you want to go to war with me, you gotta bring your ticket sales up. I know you want to compare yourself to me. You're doing some small colleges. You're doing some clubs, a little small theater. It's like you bring your ticket sales up. The way he does it, it's like so ruthless because you can't say anything. I mean, he's Kevin Hart is so energetic, like in the way if he's attacking you, it's most likely because you already attacked him. It's like this is a comeback that he couldn't address him. So you got to bring your ticket sales up first. That's such a black comedian thing too. Like if a white comedian talks like that, you get crucified. You know. We were talking about this. What the fuck happened to Cat Williams?
He's got a special that's coming out.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you hear?
2017. I saw it the other day, right after we talked about it. Oh, that's funny. He looks like he gained some weight.
Dude, Cat Williams to this day has some of my favorite specials ever. The Pimp Chronicles.
Me too.
Part one was amazing. Part one was
amazing. The Michael Jackson thing was amazing. There was a couple of things that were really fucking amazing. I still remember doing his room up here for $50, bro.
You did his room?
Yeah, right here. 10 years ago, he came up to me at the store when he was Cat in the Hat.
Oh, that's right. He was Cat in the Hat for a while.
I remember we used to hang Sunday nights, and one night he came up to me, man, that was funny shit. Can you do my room right here? It's still there. It's still like a jazz club right before Jerry's Deli. If you hit Jerry's Deli in Studio City, you went too far. It's a block before all that shit starts. It's still there.
Wow.
I did it twice. Once with him and once with somebody else. And it was like 10 people. He gave me $40. Here you go, dog. I was happy as fuck. And then 10 years later, he shows up as Cat Williams. Fucking killing motherfuckers. He did that special.
Didn't he bring a lion on stage? Didn't he have a lion in a cage? I want to say he had a wardrobe change in the middle of his special. In the middle of his special, he was sweating so much because he's always yelling and screaming and jumping around on stage. He was sweating so much he took his fucking clothes off. He went backstage and changed his clothes. I'm pretty sure he had a lion. I'm pretty sure he had a lion. Did Cat Williams have a lion on stage? See if you can find that.
I'm trying to find. I don't think so.
That's the way to do it, though.
Maybe.
Why do I feel like he had a lion? I feel like he had a lion on stage.
A lion or a tiger?
There's a fucking difference. The lion, the tiger, one of them.
Find it. Cat Williams had a lion on stage. Google that. You got it?
No, I don't think so.
Here, I Googled it in 2 minutes.
You have it?
Hilarious, priceless, special debut.
Cat Williams stomped and jumped in the head at Philly concert. He's done some shit, but I don't see lying.
He took some beatings, dog. He got into fights at places. He's getting sued. That one show, fucking whatever, Live Nation. He killed Live Nation. Live Nation, and they give all the money back at the Sacramento
Yeah, what
show.
happened? He did a show and then didn't do stand-up, right? Yelled at some people and then got off stage?
He did something. He was going through a fucking ton of shit, you know. I laugh at those stories. Like they say that, what's the girl's name? Killing Me So, the Fugees.
Did I really? Yeah, Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill
Yeah.
gets to concerts 3 hours late. Like, can you imagine getting to a concert at 7:30? The show's supposed to start at 8, and she don't go on until 10:30. Are you fucking crazy? Are you fucking crazy? That's when you're just crazy.
Well, she wasn't paying taxes. They put her in the pokey. That's one of the things they do with taxes that they don't do with anything else. They put you in jail. Like, if you owe money, like, say if you owe, like, for a car that you didn't pay, well, you know, they get a lien on your funds and they wind up putting you in jail. But if you owe the government money and you just don't pay taxes, they put you in a cage.
And they don't fuck around. They even put Blade in the cage.
They put him in the cage for a few years.
They don't fuck around. It doesn't discriminate, bro. You owe on. Look at, they're gonna throw your boy to school. They're gonna send him for fucking 10 years.
Who?
The kid from the Jersey Shore.
Who? Who's that?
The situation.
Oh, they're putting him in jail?
Oh yeah.
For what?
He's got 2 charges.
For taxes?
Oh yeah. He's got, type it up.
I think one was taxes and one was like
he
payment, like a payroll.
Like he fucked up. Like,
What was the other one? Taxes or what?
I thought it was payroll, but let me check.
Are you high enough that you could actually type? I mean,
yeah,
are you like
he's all right.
sober?
I
don't
do
even
this
know how
every
you
day.
could see.
I have no idea.
He's a
Look at his
soldier of
eyes.
death. He's a soldier.
I mean, while he's
of death.
typing, I'm like, there's no way that guy can see that screen.
He's a soldier of death. He's bro. We got him trained just in case ISIS takes over with THC. His levels are high, and he can make it.
What do you got there?
Put it up on the screen. You know?
Okay, well,
It's too high.
I can do it. I didn't know you wanted to read about the Jersey
No, I want
Shore.
you to fucking read. I want you to read it to me.
Jersey Shore star Mike the Situation Sorrentino hit with serious new tax charges. Ooh, boy.
8.9 million. You're going to jail, cuz.
He dodged taxes from 2010 to 2012 on 8.9 million in income from promotional events. He evaded payment by filing false returns and by claiming millions in business expenses, including pricey cars and personal grooming, according to the first indictment. New charges accuse the Situation of structuring funds to evade currency transaction reports, according to a statement from the U.S. Attorney's Office. In New Jersey, his brother is charged with falsifying records to obstruct a grand jury investigation. If convicted on all charges, the brothers could face 20 years in prison. Oh my God. Wow, he's going away. Yeah. Tried to do some neighborhood shit. They tried to go old school with their taxes.
Yeah, see, on this. At one point, he made several cash deposits on the same day in several banks in the amount of less than $10,000 to allegedly evade the bank's IRS reporting requirements. The brothers are scheduled to be arraigned April 17th. Now, they don't owe $8.9 million.
No, on $8.9 million worth of income.
3 million close to.
$3 million. So,
Well, depending on what his bracket is. If that's his bracket and he doesn't have any deductions, if they don't accept his deductions, wouldn't it be more than that? I don't know how that works.
No, I think it's 3 million and then deductions to make it a little.
Understated gross receipts, claim fraudulent business deductions. See, and once they catch you doing the fucking, like, let's say some people just go, listen, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'll tell you what you don't know. What do you got in the bank? Oh, I got about 600,000. Okay, that goes to us.
Oh.
I got the 3 years probation. That's how this ends. Okay.
No. You go to jail.
If you pay it back, no wait. If you pay it back,
I had a friend that.
No. Blade tried to pay it back. They're like, you're going to jail.
But there's
well, how much did Blade take?
He didn't
pay taxes.
He didn't pay taxes. He hooked up with one of those wacky Constitution dudes that was like, it says here on page 17, paragraph 3, thou shalt not. You know, I mean, they have these crazy like tax laws. Like when you look at the tax code and you go, okay, what is legal? What's not legal? And what's the It doesn't matter. If everybody else is paying taxes, you have to pay taxes too.
Yeah.
Just because, like, it's not written correctly somewhere, like in some way you think that you could evade this on a technicality. They showed him what they wanted to show. They showed him by putting him in jail. They wanted to send a message that if you do this, even if you're famous, we'll lock you in a cage. That's what they do. It's harsh business.
This is hard to read, because this is when they know you're trying to fuck with them. That's when you get their attention.
And a lot of money, $9 million.
Like I said, what's that expression? Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
If you say you're stupid, that's one thing. But if they catch you trying to be tricky, that's when they fucking fine you. Because there comes a fine too, restitution.
Yeah.
The probation ain't over till you pay. You do know that, right?
Well, these guys that think they're slick, like this is like all you have to do. You make several cash deposits on the same day in several bank accounts. As long as they're under $10,000, the IRS doesn't know shit. Are you sure, Mikey? You sure we could do this? This is what we do. We're not going to fucking pay them. We're going to fucking pay them all this money? You want to give $1 million away? You want to take a chance?
20 years.
Dude, do you imagine what that must feel like?
Well, he's not going to get 20. He'll probably get like fucking
3.
10. And he'll have to do 3, and then he can ride horses, because he's not a criminal. They take you to Lompoc, you ride horses, you learn how to shoot bow and arrows, you draw pictures.
Everybody winds up going to jail too, man. Like those people from Jersey Housewives of New Jersey, the guy and the girl, the husband. I think he went. The girl went away first, and then the husband goes away second, something like that. They each got to do a year.
So I have to stay with the kid.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. It's a tax thing.
I couldn't think about that right now.
Taxes are scary.
That's the first thing I fucking do. I don't play with these people. I got away with murder for years. They sent me a wrong amount one time. I cashed it. I don't know nothing. It was too long ago. It's forgive and forget. They only go back 7 years.
Well, now that you talked about it, you're definitely going to get away with it.
Yeah, it was $200. What did I give a fuck? I was supposed to get $59. No, I'll tell you what it was. They sent me 2 tax returns. The same check, like they fucked up.
Yeah.
The computer had fucked up, so they sent the check on Saturday and one on Monday, the same exact check. I cashed them both. I took my chance. Columbus did. It's fucking business law. If something lands in your mailbox, it's yours. 9/10 of possession is fucking yours. I love you, brother. Thank you very much for coming on.
We're having a lot of fun. And I love the fact that people love this podcast. Your podcast is huge.
No, we have a good time.
People bring it up to me all the time.
We talk. We just talk normal here. There's no fucking drama. I'll give the shout-outs later and all that shit. Levity Live, 420 and 427. I'll be at the Temblor Brewing Company in Bakersfield. I'm going to go up there and spend the day with Matt Baker and learn how to choke people correctly from the Fat Man Side Control. He taught me. Then I got Utah, and then I'm in Milwaukee.
Are you doing Wise Guys?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing Wise Guys. I'm doing Wise Guys in July.
I'll be there May 5th and 6th. Very nice. You land on Friday morning.
I love that club.
I love it.
I love that city.
I love the whole thing.
Salt Lake City is one of the most underrated cities in the country. People have a weird assessment of it, but they're real nice people. The fucking shows are fun, and not everybody's a Mormon.
No.
There's a lot of non-Mormons. There's
good weed. There's a party. They got the best Olive Garden in the country. The busiest Olive Garden in the country is in Salt Lake City. They walk in there, they think it's fucking Spark Steakhouse.
I'm a big fan of Utah people. I like Utah. I like those people.
You ski up there? Sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes.
I've never been up there to ski.
You know what, though? Aspen, to me, you can't fuck with it. You know why? Because the way it looks. Like, when you look, Aspen is so fucking beautiful. When you're up there, you're like how could it, like, if you went to Park City, or, yeah, that's where it is, right? Where they ski.
Park City.
You look around there, gorgeous, right? Beautiful. I mean, it's amazing looking. But Aspen somehow or another tops it. It takes it to another level. Where you look at Aspen, you go, I don't believe it. It got more beautiful. Like, it's just one notch more wooded, one notch more rivers and streams, one notch more beautiful. Like, those mountain towns, man, that's what's up. Like, that's living, man. Those super rich dudes have figured out a way to move to Aspen, and they're up there with their Range Rovers. Every other fucking car's up there's a Range Rover.
The cops still have Saabs.
I don't know. That's funny. Did
Aspen, they used to. Aspen and Snowmass.
They should have Subarus.
It's a different way of living. If I could figure out how to live there, I would try to figure.
Do you think you could just one day just go out of there and do the podcast? Just do the podcast, live in, because I know you talk about going to Colorado.
I talk about going to a lot of places. I just don't know what I would do. I would have Lee to teach me how to do the podcast, and I would zero in from a cabin.
You know
Deep
where
beneath.
you would really have to consider it? We would all have to consider it. If LA gets hit with a quake. If some real shit goes down in LA, you really have to take into consideration that we're just pretending that that can't happen.
Listen, man, I told you what my fear was in LA. I'm not worried about a fucking earthquake no more.
What are you worried about?
We became a sanctuary state. That means if something happens, we get zero fucking funding. That means if there is a fucking major earthquake, instead of taking 2 days for supplies to get here and help from the federal government, it'll take 10 days, maybe.
Well, when did we become a sanctuary state?
Last week.
Why?
Because that's the way life is. That's the way life works itself out. And that's been starting to scare me a little bit.
How did that distinction change?
Because they hold back federal funding. They fuck around with your paper.
Well, they're threatening to do that. I don't think, because they're saying that if people.
You've got a Google machine right in front of you, son.
Oh, yeah,
Why
well,
fuck around? Find out what this.
I don't think it's a threat that they I think
Well,
they'll
find out.
retaliate at some fucking level. I go down to Hollywood and I see the weed stores, and I could see fucking Trump coming in here and shutting down 10 of them on Sunset Strip. You know, they're getting too fucking lax. So now we just legalized marijuana, and now you want to become a sanctuary state.
You know what's interesting? There's a story today on one of the news sites about how many pot arrests they have in Washington, D.C. Even though marijuana is legal now in Washington, D.C., they still arrest people for pot, and it's primarily African Americans.
Oh, please.
Primarily black dudes getting arrested for weed in a place where weed's legal.
They do what they want, Joe Rogan. Always remember, it's a federal fucking law. We're just living on rented, borrowed time. I appreciate their courage. I appreciate that they're trying to do a fucking thing. But when I went to Hollywood a month ago, and I got stuck in Hollywood, and I was driving on Santa Monica, what I saw on La Brea and the fucking billboards, I was like,
Wow.
listen, I don't mind you're a gangster. Just don't remind me. I don't mind if you're a gangster. Just don't remind me. Keep it small. There's one that you pull up to at the light by Target on La Brea that you look at and go, looks like a fucking amusement store, my friend. Looks like somebody sank 20 million into it. So I know that the investments are high, but I don't think they covered themselves before they dotted the T's. And that's what scares me. That's the only way Trump could that's one of the ways he could really fuck with us. If we become a sanctuary state. Colorado ain't becoming no sanctuary. I don't know if that's sanctuary state. But Colorado got their weed game so tight, they could send fucking the DEA in there, and you can't fuck with Colorado. Colorado would come up with, all these states that where you go now, they have a whole floor now to marijuana, where it was just one attorney. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like if your attorney office has 7 floors, they had one office about marijuana. Now they have 2 floors.
The thing is, it's still a federal issue.
It's a federal issue, and that's why I don't like what I see.
Yeah, well, you got a good point. I mean, that Jeff Sessions guy that they have now, he's scary in a lot of ways. Like, he's publicly said that good people don't smoke marijuana. I mean, maybe he believes that. He might believe that. But maybe he's been influenced by companies that would benefit from keeping marijuana illegal or reversing the trend. That's possible, too. There's a lot of people that think that there's pharmaceutical companies, that stand to lose millions and millions of dollars from this. That they absolutely will. Maybe even billions.
They already proved it that all the states that have legalized marijuana, opioid emergency room visits are down.
Colorado is a sanctuary state.
Is it? So,
And then what they're saying is I mean, he could probably make things difficult, but
What about California?
legally, California is.
But you said Colorado.
Colorado.
Did you mean
is
California?
No, I meant Colorado.
Both of them.
Yeah, we knew California was. Joey asked if Colorado was.
So California definitely is?
Yes.
So that's last week it changed over?
Yeah, and I mean, it's fucked up, but yeah, I mean they could fuck it. They could fuck things up.
They can fuck with you, dog.
Well, here's the thing. Here's how you mitigate that, right? Like how much funds are we talking about, and would there be a way to make a fund to make up for it? If it's because of marijuana, you could tax marijuana 39%. Nobody gives a fuck.
Nobody gives a fuck.
It's still cheap. You could do it, and if you do that, you know how much money the state generates, and that probably takes care of emergency services. Like if you thought about 24/7 marijuana sales in California and 24/7 taxes coming in and high taxes, no one would care. And you just take all that money, because that's how they have in Colorado. Like medical, it's 1%, but then if it's recreational, I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 40% or 39% or something like that. You could do that, and then that would be hundreds of millions of dollars. And that's the money you use to take care of yourself. If some shit goes down, you're probably more than you're going to get from the federal government anyway.
Well, in Denver last year, this is what I heard, that they had tax returns for, like, weed. Like, they made so much money that some people got tax returns, all the residents. I don't know how.
Yeah, they made so much money in taxes that people got checks.
They had to give it back. And like you were saying, could there be a fund? Maryland just voted that if Planned Parenthood gets defunded, they'll fund Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, if you get enough people that can generate enough money from something that's easy, like growing marijuana. Not easy, but it can be done. It's not like making cell phones over in China. You don't need a factory with nets around it to keep people from jumping off the roof if you want to grow pot. It's not that hard. And if you did that and you just had, listen, everybody's going to make a shitload of money anyway. It's like, it's not about having $100 million. It's about not being broke. About making plenty of money. So you make plenty of money and you live in an amazing community where everything gets taken care of. School gets taken care of. Teachers get paid more money. Doctors get paid. Everybody gets paid. And there's plenty of money. Why? Because you let people grow a plant. And nobody's dying of overdoses. The overdose deaths drop drastically.
Dropping.
Cancer.
Visits.
All these people with health issues that are worried about it. CBD oils. All that stuff's easy to get. Hemp oil. You deal with a lot of people alleviating pain and disease. And you make a shitload of money. It's a win-win. It's just not a win-win for the pharmaceutical companies. So when a guy comes in and he's saying that this is something we need to target, you got to go, well, why? It's not logical. If you look at the issues that people are developing from pain pill addiction, you look at how many people have overdosed just on that fentanyl stuff. That's the stuff that killed.
Michael Jackson.
No, Prince. Michael Jackson. We were talking about it. He got a sedative.
What the fuck?
Fentanyl. It's a super potent opiate. Super potent, like many, many times stronger than OxyContins. So it's really easy to overdose. There's a MMA fighter, Josh Saman. He overdosed from it too. Apparently, I heard. I don't know if that was it. I'm pretty sure that was it. That's what God, I should have said that because I'm not exactly sure. But somebody told me that. And then I think there's been quite a few deaths from that stuff. The fentanyl stuff's very scary. And so there's that. That's legal. And no, you don't see this guy chasing that down, saying, "Hey, folks, there's an herbal remedy. It's called edible marijuana. It's probably as effective as anything you're talking about, and it doesn't kill a goddamn single person." And you can grow it yourself. You can make your own. And communities can make their own. I mean, it wouldn't be hard at all to make it dirt cheap. It's a weed, for Christ's sake. It's super hardy. You don't need very many pesticides. What do you need? You need fertilizer and light. Good soil. Good soil and water, and you have one of the most profitable plants known to man. You have the gold crop. And so the boundary to entry is not that difficult. It's not that difficult to get in the game. You know what I'm talking about, Lisa?
I do. Do they have? I was wondering if they had medical marijuana or recreational in Aspen and like in nicer communities.
They have it in surrounding communities. I saw it in Colorado. It was funny. We were driving to this place to go race, not jet skis, snowmobiles. We were snowmobile racing with the kids. Fucking hilarious. It's so fun. They have a track.
Yeah, please.
And they take you out and they take you on a tour through the mountains and you come back and you race snowmobiles. It's fun, man. We had a good time. As long as you don't get silly, don't wipe out. And if you do, you wipe it out in fluffy snow anyway. But we passed this place and it's really nice, like small town with like pretty nice houses, and apparently like wealthy people have their estates out there. And there's a weed stop. Just big old fucking weed stop. Just come on in and buy some weed. You just got to show a driver's license. My mom bought weed in Boulder.
This last time?
Yeah. My stepdad had to stay in the car because he didn't bring his driver's license. Wouldn't let him in.
Is that the first time?
Or was it the opposite? Maybe he got it and my mom didn't have her license. They wouldn't let her in.
Was that the first time your mom bought weed? She just
I think so. Yeah, the first time she's ever bought it from like a place like that.
How cool was that?
to
walk in there
into
and
a store
experience it. For
in
them,
their lifetime.
it freaks me out. I can't imagine.
Well, they were hippies in the
They were
1970s.
hippies. Like, they never dreamed of that. They were like, it's not going to happen. We gave up on that shit 20 years ago.
Nobody understood it. They were like, why? Like, how is it still illegal? I mean, think about it. It was illegal, Joey, in 1970, right? So when I was 3, it was illegal. It became legal when I was 49. Who would have thought that? With all the evidence, not a single person died in all that time. Not a single person died of an overdose. I mean, people probably did stupid shit when they were high. But people do stupid shit.
I never thought I would walk into a store and buy marijuana.
How about getting it delivered? How about speed weed? How about places like that? Talk to people. They show up with weed. What do you need? This?
I don't like it delivered to my house.
You don't have to go to the house. I get it delivered to the store.
What store?
Comedy store.
Oh, no, I know, but no.
Or meet him at El Compadre.
I like the experience of going in there and seeing the weed I'm about to get. I'm a professional. No, I don't want no games. I don't like surprises. I'm not much for surprise parties. I know what I want. I got to see the person who's selling it to me.
You got to have a connection with them?
Where I go perennial, I know 2 of the girls. There's one girl from St. Louis that knows I want to smoke death. And there's a chick from a Chinese girl that knows what I smoke. And at the place over here, there's a little girl that looks like she's little bots. She really does. Like she's a runaway. But dog, when she sees me walking in there, she knows exactly what I want.
And they have bud tenders, and you tip them, right?
Yeah.
You have like a tip jar. You throw some money in there?
Yeah, the young girls, I always put fucking a 10 or 20 in there.
Good for you.
They're great girls, man. You know, when they get like $10 an hour when they chop up the tips.
Now, when you go in now, do you go and you just have to present your driver's license?
Yeah.
You don't have to have a license for marijuana?
No, I still got my license. You still got to have it. They haven't straightened that out yet. That's why we're behind. Don't. That's why people really.
That's
don't
why
know
it's not like Denver, right?
No. They're not going to get that shit together to 218. So anything can happen. It's like Wednesdays on the Mickey Mouse Club, dog. Anything can happen there.
Oh, you remember Angel Heart? You must have saw Angel Heart.
Yeah. Did you see it?
Yeah.
After I said it?
Yeah, I knew. Well, I remember that line. From that movie.
Yeah.
It's
Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
Anything can happen day. What are you saying, Lee? Fuck. Jesus, Lee.
Yeah, I know. He's before saying the future is audio. That's when I knew he was done.
He was gone.
He was gone at that point.
I believe that.
When people are watching things, they're playing on their phone. Like, who the fuck are you hanging out with? Hanging out with a bunch of ADD people.
They're gonna do this. I'm like, oh, this guy. Why is he doing
I
this
could have
to me?
sworn Cat Williams had a fucking lion on stage.
No.
I can't believe it.
That might have been a really good dream.
Yeah, it must have been. That was one of the ones I was convinced. Cat Williams Tiger on stage. Let's try that. Tiger.
Audio in the future. You fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's so ridiculous.
You had me off.
But you made a good point though.
No, he did. I get it too. I always thought that I liked the idea of the podcast because it reminded me of being young and listening to albums that were dirty, and I had to hide them. I had to listen to them on the slide. That's why I really was curious with the podcast, because I wanted Americans to listen again.
Yeah.
I really believe in listening. We don't listen. We do not fucking listen, you know.
Well, there's definitely more people listening to conversations like this, like these long conversations like you do on your podcast and Duncan does on his and I do, and a lot of other people do these like that. There's more people doing this now than it's just. I don't think anybody's ever had anything like this often before. That's so raw. You know, you have Howard Stern, of course, but there was always "We'll be right back," we're cutting to commercial, and he's always arguing with the network about this, and you know the FCC fined him. I mean, he broke down all the doors. Like if it wasn't for him, and you know he got sued, dude. The government sued him for just talking about certain shit, certain subject matter. But,
fucking crazy.
But it's still that you had to have a radio station. You had to have a business. You had to be the main guy competing in the business. Today, anybody listening to this can start a podcast. And if they do it for long enough and they work at it hard enough, and if it's good enough, and 2 people tell 2 people tell 2 people, and then everybody knows about it, and it literally by word of mouth. There's a lot of people, and people say, oh, that's easy for you to say, you're fucking already established. That is the voice of doom and doubt creeping in your fucking head. You got to listen. There's people today that can come up with a podcast and it can still hit. Look at those two guys we fucked. You know those girls? You know they have that podcast, Guys We Fucked?
Yeah, guys.
Podcast is killing it. It's always top 10. Always. They're killing it. They sold out the main room of the store like that. Those aren't famous girls. They probably are now. But the girls who invented that show, they were just a couple female comedians, wanted to put together a podcast. They came up with a funny name for it, and it became huge. Anybody could do that. That's totally doable now, especially with iTunes has a very reasonable and generous algorithm, like the algorithm that they use to rank your show. Like if your show's been around for years, right? And you get a shitload of downloads. If some new person comes along, they could have a fraction of the downloads that you do, but they'll be right next to you in the rankings because it's new. So they get an allotment for new shows. So it keeps the top 10 and top 20 and top 50, whatever, fresh. You get new shows coming in all the time. And when you have stuff like that, like it makes it possible. It's possible. All it has to do is you have someone on, say if you had Ian and Ian has a new podcast and you tell everybody, check out Ian Edwards' podcast, it's called and then people listen to this go, that guy was great. Let me check it out. And then they go, that's what we've done. Yeah, that's what we've done. Yeah, we did. How did we do that? All of us have hit podcasts and we all just did it together.
I see the people who deviate and start other podcasts and think they want to join this product. I stuck with this. This is what I wanted to do from day one. I already had a plan and I stuck with it. Yeah, but your studio, you need to listen. I want people to listen. Yeah. I'm sick and fucking tired of people not fucking listening. I grew up where you had to fucking listen. People today don't fucking listen. I get it with the fucking text messages and with the bullshit. You don't listen. I told somebody at the store, don't text me. The first thing he did was text me. They don't listen. And I was raised with the fucking old interview sheets. Remember when you applied for a job in the 70s? It said 5 lines, your name, address, then there was a box, and it said, don't answer the fucking questions unless there's a check in that fucking box. And my friend I was at a sandwich place one time, and I go, you need help, man, hire somebody. He goes, look at all these people who applied already. I can't hire none of these dummies because they all fucking wrote in here, and it says don't. So if they can't get that right, I don't want to do business with them. When people don't listen, I don't want to do business with them. Like, if I tell you something an hour and 2 hours later you call me with something stupid, I just omit you from the phone. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm fucking done. I can't deal with... So I wanted to make people fucking listen again. It's a great gift to have. I love to talk, but I also love to fucking listen. The other day when you and Dominic were talking for 40 minutes, did I raise my fucking hand? No. Did I raise my fucking hand? No. I'm learning. I wasn't in a place to fucking raise my hand. I'm amongst people who really know what the fuck they're talking about. That's a problem in America today. People want to chime in when they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You think I went to jiu-jitsu because I like smelling assholes and feet? And you think I like choking people?
I definitely don't.
It's not in my itinerary. But you know what, man? I'm sick and tired of listening to MMA fucking analysts that never even tackled the fucking tackle dummy. How are you going to know what this guy is feeling in the ring if you never got clocked in the face? Do me a favor. Shut the fuck up. That's with any sports writer. They sit there and they insult football players. When was the last time you played football, fucko? Do you know what they're doing out there now? No. It happens with basketball. It happens with baseball. There's always these people that you look at them and they've never done nothing in their fucking life. And they want to write about a sport. They don't know, I was a fan of the game. No, you were a fan, but you never played it.
Do you know Anik started taking jiu-jitsu?
You have to.
You have to.
Yeah. Me just fucking around with you guys, I have to do something. I have to describe a hip escape. I have to know what it's like before I can sit there and judge a guy.
Right.
Who the fuck am I? But that goes on a lot in today. Let me start up a blog because, and talk bad about Michael's Bisping not fighting, whatever. What the fuck have you done? What the fuck did you do?
But a lot of it is them just trying to get attention. And the way to get attention is to be negative. And I've been very vocal fighting against that. I don't like insulting writers that shit on MMA in particular.
Don't like it at all. Don't like at any level.
It's not. They're not respecting what that thing is. That thing is an insanely difficult endeavor. To be a fighter and to put your emotions on the line, and then for someone to callously disregard that. Look, you can pump up the person who won, and you could criticize the technique of the person who lost, but they go way further than that. there's some of them that they make a person look like a buffoon.
I don't like none of that shit.
There's no reason for that.
We learned a lot with Ronda Rousey. We learned a lot about society. There's two things that taught me a lot the last year. When Ronda Rousey got knocked out and when fucking Trump won and that fucking mutt went to his house for dinner to try to interview for the job after he badmouthed him. That's
Christie?
No, not the fat fuck. The
Rick
guy from
Romney.
Utah. When Rick Romney went on Trump, and then Trump won, and he went to his house. And you know why people didn't say nothing about it? Because people do it all the time.
They're
man.
just snakes.
They're disgusting. Well, we become disgusting people. You know, so that's why nobody ever said, wait a second, that guy's a fucking mutt. He'll never get it. He should be banned like United. You talked about Trump. I mean, you went out and blasted him. Not just said
pre-read speech.
Yeah, pre-read speech, and now you're going to his house to try to get a job. You should be shot and hung.
He
But
rehearsed that shit.
Yeah, but Americans didn't see it. They just let it go. That's why Lee's right. You know what? We all seen this thing with United. I don't fuck. United's always my third choice. United is my fourth choice. Okay? It's American. I go to Delta. I go to JetBlue. I try Virgin, but they don't fly everywhere. To go to Austin, you got to go to San Francisco first. I ain't got that type of time. So the only time I could use them is to go to fucking New York. That's the only use I got out of Virgin.
They're great to New York, though.
But United, I look at every once in a while, like, I'm like, should I take the chance? Every once in a while, they come through with like a short flight. It's an hour and a half. You can catch United. You don't really want to go on Southwest. But you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you. I don't like you motherfuckers anyway.
You can't wear your yoga pants.
Fuck
I
them
gotta help
bitches.
you guys with this sound.
I know you gotta figure this out.
Yeah, you need a whole board that takes this and it shortens.
Something's been
up
going
the
on lately.
pops
Something's
and the
been going on
loudness.
lately. But don't
They
tell
can-
them
compression.
Don't tell them because then they all become sound designs. I'll see you tomorrow. I
I'll
love
hook you
to
up.
death.
I'll hook you up with
No.
Jamie.
Yeah, we'll figure this out.
I love you. I
brother.
love you too, brother. Thank
I love you.
Thanks for
Please
everything,
say it.
man.
Thank you. It was a
Thanks
great
for this
week.
weekend too. I had
No,
a
it was
great time.
fucking tremendous. We got to eat those wings.
That was great.
We didn't fuck around. None of these fucking West Coast wings with rants. Suck my dick. I love you guys. Levity Live, 420, Temblar. I love you, cocksuckers. Have a great night.
Holla.
A great week. Thank you. This podcast is brought to you by I Hate My Boss, the newest podcast from Wondery. Need workplace advice? Go listen to I Hate My Boss and subscribe to it wherever you're listening to this podcast. Have you ever worked for a boss who can't make up his mind, then blames you for it? It's frustrating and you're not alone. Who do you talk to about that? Where do you get workplace advice? Where can you say those 4 words? I hate my boss. Well, I'll tell you where. There's a new podcast called I Hate My Boss, where 2 workplace heroes help you make the big decisions, sort through the small stuff, and get more fulfillment from your workplace. It's about people who go to work, who are part of a team, who respect their bosses sometimes, and who need to escape. You'll also meet some characters that you might relate to or know, and will help you deal with them. New episodes of I Hate My Boss drop every Monday, just in time for your work week. I saw the trailer, and it's fantastic, okay? Go listen to I Hate My Boss and subscribe to it wherever you listen to podcasts. I Hate My Boss, workplace drama, comedic relief. Subscribe today. I Hate My Boss. It's a pretty good little show. It's a tremendous little show. Go listen to it. Take a chance Columbus did. You're going to love it. If you like Uncle Joey, you'll like this show. What do you do when you want a snack but all you can find is junk food? Rely on your self-control to resist the temptation? Please. You eat that junk food like anybody else. Start snacking healthy with Nature Box. Nature Box makes snacks that actually taste good and are great and are better for you. Created with high-quality ingredients that are free-form, artificial colors, flavors, or sweeteners. So you can feel great about snacking. My personal favorites are the Cocoa Bonds. And what else do you? I like the.
I like the salt and pepper cashews.
I like the salt and pepper lentils.
Lentils and the chocolate nom noms are good.
Tremendous. Nature Box recently made their service even better. Now you can order as much as you want, as often as you want, with no minimum purchase required, and you can cancel at any time. It's simple. Go to naturebox.com and check out their snack catalog. There are over 100 snacks to choose from, and they're constantly adding delicious new snacks. Choose the snacks you want, and they'll deliver them, listen to this, right to your door. You can watch a 600-pound man and join them. With Nature Box, you'll never get bored. If there are new snacks each month, inspired by real customer feedback, and if you ever try a snack you don't like, Nature Box will replace it, ready for this, for free. A snack you don't like, you taste it, you send it back, they'll replace it for free. And right now, you'll save even more. Nature Box is offering our fans 50% off your first order when you go to naturebox.com/Joey. Again, that's naturebox.com/Joey for 50% off your first order. Let me tell you something. That's a tremendous deal. Naturebox.com/Joey. Start snacking healthy, all right? Bring the bag to work with you. Knock yourself out all day. You'll be fine. You go to the gym, you'll lose a little weight. It's bikini season. Cut this shit. Number 2, why? It's bikini season. You're going to shave that monkey. You're going to get a suntan. But then something happens and it starts reeking or your muffler starts stinking. Guess what? We got a Superman for you. Bidets are back, bitches. The Church of What's Happening Now would like to introduce HelloTushy.com. Portable bidets that spray your muffler spotless, or your monkey, whatever you're into. Or if you switch governments, whatever you're holding. You know what I'm saying? It gets ugly down there from time to time.
Whatever you have.
You need a little water down there. Hello Tushy got the answer for you. Listen, it's biological. You don't use toilet paper. All right? It's clean water that comes right out. Let me tell you something. There's an electric shock. How you going to wash your face? With the bidet. All right? You save on toilet paper. You're saving on trees. You're a nice guy. You don't have to go buy a Prius and show your friends you're a half a fruitcake and shit and they give a fuck about the environment. With Hello Tushy, you're saving trees. You're saving fucking jungles, okay? You're just sprinkling water, whether it's got minerals in it or not. You got to get a filter for the Hello Tushy. If not, your asshole will smell worse than it did when you started the program. That's a joke. Go to HelloTushy.com right now and press in church and get 10% off your order. Delivered to your house, whatever you need. They got a 60-day money-back guarantee, but you're not going to... Listen, you're going to love it. Trust me. Take it from a fat dude who's mathematically can't wipe his ass from time to time because my shoulders hurt. So listen, HelloTushy.com and get your asshole right. That's the new slogan. HelloTushy.com. Get that asshole smelling right. I love you motherfuckers with all my heart. Have a great week. Thank you for listening. Greetings, ball sniffers. This podcast is brought to you by I Hate My Boss, the newest podcast from Wondery. Need workplace advice? Go listen to I Hate My Boss and subscribe to it wherever you listen to this podcast. This podcast is also brought to you by Nature Box. What do you want when you want a snack, but all you can find is junk food? Rely on your self-control to resist the temptation? Please, you eat that junk food. Start snacking healthy with Nature Box. Right now, Nature Box is offering our family 50% off your first order when you go to naturebox.com. Also, bidets are back. It's time to wash that muffler. Go to HelloTushy.com right now and get 10% off your portable bidet. Never again will your asshole stink like 10 dead fucking savages. You understand me? Hit it, Lee. What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? Uncle Joey here. Monday night. We got a special guest tonight, my brother, Mr. Joe Rogan. We're going to talk about this fucking United thing.
Holla. Joey and I were talking about how bad flying was this weekend in Buffalo. It was bad. Bruce Buffer's flight got canceled because they didn't have a pilot. Everybody's on the plane. They're like, sorry, we don't have a pilot. Everybody has to get off. And then the flight was just canceled. No pilot. Our flight got canceled because the tires didn't have any air in them. And they had to fly tires there. We're supposed to leave at 8:30 in the morning. Didn't wind up leaving until we took off. We hopped on a JetBlue to New York and then caught a flight from New York. We were supposed to fly into Chicago. And it changed it from 8:30 in the morning. They kept moving it up and up because I get notifications on my phone. And they moved it up to 4:30 p.m. and it didn't even take off then. It took off sometime after 5 p.m.
It was hard. I don't know. I don't blame it on no fucking snowstorm. They were slipping. How the fuck don't you have a tire? How the fuck doesn't your pilot show up? How the fuck doesn't, it's just too many coincidences.
Buffalo's just not a good airport. There's just not a lot of people flying in there. They're not prepared. They're not equipped.
I went to Vermont a couple of years ago, and they just canceled the flight the night before. There was no weather. I don't think they had enough people flying out of Burlington, Vermont the next day.
That's probably exactly what it is.
That's what it was.
Yeah, so we're going to watch this thing on United where a passenger apparently had a ticket, was in his seat, and they wanted to get a crew member
Crew
on
members.
board.
It was like 3 or 4 crew members. They had to get people off the flight.
Shit.
So people who had tickets, who paid for tickets, were going somewhere, and they told this guy, they just randomly picked people. They told this guy, you got to get up. You didn't want to get up, so they dragged him off. Check this out. It's gonna piss you off. And imagine this is you.
United's been slipping anyway.
So look at this.
Hey, come on.
United Airlines overbooked the flight. They randomly selected people to kick off so their standby crew could have a seat.
Let's see if I can find a better version of it.
There's a few of them. The man was chosen at random, but he refused to leave his seat.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Look at people getting their phones ready.
Oh my god! My god! What are you doing? No, this is wrong! Oh my god! Look at what you did to him! Oh my god!
Remind me and my husband never use United Airlines when we fly. The situation could have been handled better than that. Yeah, all these people are freaking out. And the more people find out about this over today and over the rest of the week, United's fucked. That's fucked. I just can't believe they did that to the guy. They forcibly removed him. Why do they think they could do that? Here's the statement. Pause that for a second. Flight 3411 from Chicago to Louisville was overbooked. After our team looked for volunteers, one customer refused to leave the aircraft voluntarily. Okay, look at what they just said. After they looked for volunteers, one customer refused to leave the aircraft voluntarily. You look for volunteers. That guy's not a volunteer. That's not refusing to leave voluntarily. That's a nice way of saying you took a customer and you fucking assaulted him. And law enforcement was asked to come to the gate. Keep going, because it keeps going. We'll pause it, because their statement continues.
It's getting really bad.
See what the rest of it. We apologize for the overbooked situation. No, there's more. You went a little too far.
No,
that's it?
yeah, that's it.
Oh, my God. That's it? We apologize for the overbooked situation. Further details on the removed customer should be directed to authorities. How about fuck you? I can't believe they would take a customer and just do that.
To get crew members, too. It wasn't like they were trying to get like other customers, or they had booked too many customers. From what I read, it was just they had to get crew members to whatever city that was.
Yeah, they can't do that. You can't do that. Well, people should start boycotting them.
Let me tell you something. United has blown for years. I took them into Newark one time. No fucking TV. No fucking shitty food. First class was like fucking garbage into Newark. That's why I don't fly into Newark no more. You know, I love whatever Virgin, but they can't get me back from Newark. So I'm going to end up at Kennedy anyway.
Yeah.
So no.
Newark's not a good airport.
You know, Ari
like
used to bitch about it. Ari used to bitch about it constantly. Fuck Newark, fuck Newark. You know what? My life's a lot easier, believe it or not, when I land in JFK.
Yeah.
It really is.
Smooth.
Worst case scenario, you go to fucking the Palms and get a steak and eggs.
Yeah.
Like a gentleman and a Bloody Mary, and you sit it out. There's tons of entertainment at Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
You get a massage. You get your feet rubbed. They got fucking everything at Kennedy. Dog, I thought you flew out okay. It was horrible. It was horrible.
No,
and I'm like you. I waited 10 minutes. I had already a booked 3 o'clock, but it got in at 7:41, and I didn't trust it.
Yeah.
I went to Southwest was empty. Everybody was there. When I got there, it was kids at the airport, all going to fucking spring break. I went to United. They had nothing. I went to Delta. Delta was done. And I went to the other one, JetBlue, and JetBlue was done until tomorrow, until Sunday. I was like, you know what? I got my 340. I'll take my chances.
Yeah.
Before I left the hotel, I called, and they go, the plane that you're going from to L.A. is already in Chicago. It landed from Rome this morning. It's already ready to go. It's on time. And the other one was on time, and you know what? Everything was smooth, knock on wood. It took me 25 minutes up to 405 to get home on Sunday. It was empty.
Yeah, you have options in other places, but if you fly to a place like Buffalo, there's not a lot of options, you know? It's like if you're flying out of Bozeman, Montana or something like that, like, good luck.
Listen, bro, I can't get a direct ticket from Milwaukee to Detroit. The flight the flight is longer from Milwaukee to Detroit than what it is from fucking LAX to fucking Milwaukee.
Really?
How the fuck did that happen? I got to fly into Chicago.
It's a tough business. The business of selling airline tickets, and flying people around. Man,
really.
You got to make money.
Not really.
Well, you got to think, who the fuck's flying in and out of Buffalo? So in order for them to have packed, I mean, what's there, right? Other than the UFC, like when you have a big event or a football game or something like that, if there's not that,
A lot of people connect to go to Canada. A lot of people fly to Buffalo. Those planes are always pretty fucking packed.
the airport was empty.
At 3 o'clock, the airport was completely empty when I walked in. Everybody flew out earlier. And I'll tell you what, when I landed at LAX, empty.
LAX was empty?
Empty. I couldn't fucking believe it. I've never seen it like that. I was like, wait a second.
No one could get back in. Have you guys boycotted an airline? Because like it's weird. You can't. They have you over a barrel. You can get as mad as you want at them, but some airlines only fly certain places, and they're the cheaper ones, so you got to fly them sometimes.
I bet a lot of people are going to boycott United after that.
Yeah, but until the next vacation, like not many. Like you guys fly a lot more than most people fly.
Yeah.
I think when most people fly, it's just whatever airline's cheapest.
Yeah, but if people have an option now, I think they're going to choose.
My
to not
first
go
choice
United.
is always American. I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
I know where I'm going. If I go to New York, I'm only going Delta or the other one. America sinks your boat.
Virgin's great, but they're going away. Virgin's not going to be around anymore.
Where are they going?
They're merging with somebody.
Alaska for some weird that like I don't know why.
Dog, I took Alaska Airlines. That was the only direct flight into Baltimore. Was Alaska fucking Airlines a red eye?
They do all right. Alaska does all right.
And they fly me to Portland from Burbank.
Yeah, they're good to Seattle too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Tremendous. Not bad. So that's the end of Virgin. I'm telling you. The leader right now is that Mint. And I know you. I know the type of guy you are. Yeah, I know the type of guy you are. They got a door. And there's a latch right here that closes your door. So you go, and the door goes, like a Batman movie. It just closes real fast. When they bring you the food, they press the latch and the door opens. And that's how she gives you the food, like Prisoner 44.
I don't even know what you're saying. I don't even know what it looks like.
I put the sleep apnea machine right here.
I think it's like a pod, like those international first class.
See if you can find one.
JetBlue.
JetBlue.
I like Delta to Kennedy. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. They got the lay down bed and shit.
I'm getting real tired of flying.
I know. But
I'd like to do a residency in Los Angeles. Everybody goes to Vegas to do a residency. How many fucking people are there in LA? You could sell out LA every weekend if you had a club. Like just a club?
Playa del Carmen down there. Got a
Where's
nice
that?
club down there right by the airport.
Where's Playa del Carmen?
By our friend. That's where he has Brendan has the office down there. Nice and clean down there, Joe Rogan.
That's a good spot, but anywhere down by the ocean takes forever to drive. That's what it looks like? The pod? Let me see this thing. Let me see it close up. Ooh, that's nice. That's JetBlue?
Yeah, I'm dog.
Is this a new thing?
Yeah.
How many of these do they have?
They have, you can only go from here to Boston or here to JFK.
So the whole plane is filled with these things?
No, the front row, it's like 8 rows, but you get an even number, and you're by yourself in the
So it's like essentially like first class. So they're doing first class.
There you go. That's by yourself. That's by yourself. They see that little box they give you? They give you a thing to cover your eyes. They give you a blanket. They give you a pillow. The bottled water is behind your left arm. You can't even fucking see it. You know how and it's got a statue. You can put your bottled water right in there. You got movies. I saw The Godfather 2 on the way there. That's the refrigerator and the cheap seats.
You have a refrigerator?
Yeah, you just get up and help your fucking self.
This is for everybody, yeah.
This is for everybody.
Hilarious.
That's so mid-flight, you don't got to bother nobody. You get up, you get your fucking soda. These people getting, it's 2017.
Wow.
But those front rows, I'm telling you, dog, tremendous. I was blown the fuck away.
That's just like first class. And that goes to Kennedy?
Goes to Kennedy, but not from Burbank. Me and Boss Rutan had this conversation because Boss was like, we got to get on Mint. I go, Burbank, there's no Mint because it's a small airport.
Right.
So the bigger plane can't land on there.
Oh, is that what it is at Burbank?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes
A lot of
sense.
flights.
That makes sense. I always wondered why there's
And
no
they don't
first
land
class.
in Newark either.
Nothing out of Burbank does? Too small flights,
No,
probably.
small flights. No, JetBlue doesn't fly into fucking Newark.
Well, you don't want to fly in Newark. Even if I work in New Jersey, I usually don't fly in New York. I fly in New York.
Have you ever flown into Atlantic City?
Yes. When I did the UFC there, I did.
Right from here?
I think. I don't remember. It was
I gotta
it was
check
so
it
long ago. I did the Borgata. Did you do the Borgata with me?
Yes.
It was fun.
When Milicic
It's one of the
showed up.
few places. Like the Borgata is one of the few places, and Henzo Gracie showed up too. Remember?
Yeah,
he was howling at your shit. That's right.
They were crazy.
I remember. Henzo Gracie is a fucking maniac. He thought he like the dirtier, the crazier you got, the more he was like, ah! He was fucking flopping around in his seat laughing.
I always walk past that place. I'm scared to walk in.
Henzo's?
Yeah.
In New York?
There's a killers.
They are killers.
There's killers.
But they're super nice guys.
It's a horror show.
You'll get tapped out, but they'll be nice to you.
Oh, my God.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah, I'm scared of those New York schools. I always make plans. Yeah, I'm going to go over there after Norton's show and show up.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
He's a great guy, though.
I get in that goddamn Uber and I shoot right back to that ferry, Jack.
Yeah.
And I don't look back. Fuck you. They'll kill you.
Do you think you could ever live in Manhattan?
We had this discussion with somebody a few weeks ago, and they showed the rent of where I grew up on 88th Street, and I nearly shit my pants.
Oh, it's insane.
The same place where I grew up now, I think it was, what was it, $7,000 for a 1-bedroom?
That's not even outrageous. Yeah. The money there is so crazy, it makes you wonder how anyone can afford to live there other than like really wealthy people.
If there's any city that gives me anxiety, it's New York City at night anymore.
Yeah.
I've gotten to the age that I've gotten very comfortable here. And when I go play the stand on Thursday nights, I stand on the corner before you go in. And I actually fucking can't take the cars anymore. Like the speed, that electricity, I'm not used to it anymore.
Really?
Yeah, it fucks with me a little bit. So on Thursdays, I don't go into the city no more. I just wait till I go to the shows. And it's weird how when you're from that area, it takes you a couple days to acclimate. Like I was getting on the ferry and I was getting bullied on the ferry.
You?
Yeah, getting bullied. Straight up, people walking in front of me and shit. But I'm from LA. I don't need this aggravation.
Like
So Thursday,
these days they were doing that?
oh, they're fucking rude motherfuckers. The people who live on the Jersey side and they work in New York, they think their shit don't stink, so they cut you off, and you overcome it because you're an adult and you don't give a fuck. By Saturday, some lady pregnant with a fucking thing was trying to cut me off, and I finally go, oh, relax. Like, you forget that you're a nice person. Like, you forget.
Wow.
People not opening up doors, like people pushing. You're like, you know what? I'm from a different civilization. Like people, you forget. And then you toughen up by Saturday, but then you'll leave on Sunday anyway. So what's the toughness for?
You know what I've been saying for a while is that what's going on in New York and what goes on the entire East Coast with the difference between the way people behave there versus out here is that they're still too close to the people that first landed there. Like the people that first landed there, like my grandparents and their families, they came over from Europe, Italy, and Ireland and everything like that. Those were barbarians. Those people were animals. I mean, you just think about life, like you're talking about the Depression, right? This is all my grandparents came like when the Depression was going on. It was a hard world. People were tough and they were mean. And you got fucked with, and my grandfather used to tell me horror stories about getting bullied, and they call him a guinea wop, and just mean shit and beating him up, and just everybody was mean.
Well, they were the Arabs of today.
Yeah,
that's how you have to look at it.
Hard, mean world.
If it was today, Trump would ban fucking travel to Italy.
Yeah, probably.
No, I saw that documentary, and it was the most interesting thing I ever saw. And it really taught me a lot about that culture I grew up around, because it always seemed very interesting to me. HBO did a 2-part special on Sinatra. In the first part, they discussed his childhood in Hoboken and how at that time the Irish were the oppressor.
The oppressor?
The oppressor. So the Guineas weren't allowed past 9th Street.
Really?
Which really fucked with them. Then stuff happened and the Italians, grew, and then they got past 9th Street. But Sinatra always had that mentality of I was never allowed over 9th Street. You gotta watch it. It's fucking interesting.
Oh.
Plus, I understood the people I grew up with from North Bergen. See, Hoboken is moving on up to North Bergen. We're going to get a house up in North Bergen. We got a front yard. You know what I'm saying? Like, half of the people I grew up with, their roots are Hoboken. So when I watched that special on
North Bergen was better?
North Bergen was more residential, where Hoboken was more tenements and 3 floors and, North Bergen. Once they built North Bergen, a lot of people moved to North Bergen.
There used to be a club there. There used to be a club in Hoboken. What was it? It was a stand-up club there.
I do not remember. I was long gone by. They still do stand-up there. Danny Aiello has a room on Tuesday nights. They've been really trying, like, over the years to do stand-up there. I did a benefit for the Hoboken Police Department.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, a long time ago.
I did the club there in, like, 91 or 92 or something like that. And they had pictures all over the wall the time Eddie Murphy stopped by. That's all I remember. Like, Eddie Murphy was here at one point in time. Like, they had, like, a photo, and it said, like, 1989 Eddie Murphy. It was like 3 years ago, and everybody's like, "Oh, remember that time 3 years ago? Eddie Murphy came down there."
Fuck, I didn't know there was a comedy club in Hoboken. When I started in Denver. When I went back, the big club was Rascals and the other one, but there was also Main Street Showcase. It was always. I saw Bill Bellamy on the plane one time, and I was talking to him about it. He goes, "Yeah, that was my roots, Main Street Showcase."
Bill Bellamy. I forgot about
Jay
Bill
Moore.
Bellamy.
Jay Moore, all those guys were from that part of New Jersey. And when Florentine came in here, him and Norton are from like South Jersey, Middle New Jersey. And they moved to Northern New Jersey, got an apartment, and they were all Jersey guys. Like they're Jersey guys. You know what I'm saying? Don't take them seriously.
Yeah, right?
He was saying that
was the
nobody
thing
took him
with Norton.
seriously.
Yeah, Norton always had that. It like bothered him.
You're not funny till you move to New York.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Like, you have to go to New York to be taken seriously. If you live in New Jersey, you're just a hack. You're telling fart jokes and shit,
Those clubs in Jersey are brutal. I mean, Bananas is club, the
Bananas
one by Fort
is
Lee.
brutal.
And it's brutal. You do comedy at a ping pong table. But
Did you do the one in Poughkeepsie?
I did the one in Poughkeepsie.
I did that one.
A couple times. That's in a ballroom, Lee.
Yeah.
And it's next to a gas station. That's as good as it gets, dog. And they put you in the downstairs room, and when I tell you it's fucking freezing, it's fucking freezing. They got one diner in the lobby, and it's the worst food you've ever eaten in your life. Even if they give you the 30% off, you'd rather fucking starve to death. That's how bad that place is. And you're stuck up there for 2 fucking nights next to a gas station. That's it.
I worked up there with Tony V. Do you know Tony V?
Fuck yeah.
I worked up there with Tony V. I was the middle. He was the headliner. And some lady kept flashing the light while I was on stage. I was supposed to do, like, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes, something like that. And at like 10 or 15, she's flashing the light. And I ignored it. I just did my set. I got off stage. And she goes, "Okay, I don't know if you know how we do it here, but you can't do that language at this club." And I remember saying, like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I was laughing because I was already moved to New York. I was already getting work. I already had Sussman as a manager. I was like, "What?" And she was like, "You're gonna have to change your act to work." I go, "No, I'm not." I go, "What are you, the manager here?" I go, "I got booked here. I got booked here by the owner of the club." I go, "I'm gonna do my act. They know what my act is." I go, "You don't like it, so you want me to change?" And like, she looked at me and, like, she didn't expect that. And I just raised my eyebrows and I just walked away. And I just finished out the weekend. And she never spoke a fucking word to me again. She didn't say hi. She didn't look at me.
Isn't that great when you have to fucking...
Every once in a while,
you got to drop a bomb on a motherfucker. And they'll just look at you like, what?
She was talking to me like she was the manager at Wendy's and I was the fry boy. She's like, "I don't know if you know how this works here." Like, she's like the lady that takes the tickets. You know how the clubs, they're all in a hotel, like Bananas was in a hotel, right?
Yeah, both of them.
So she just decided she didn't like my act, because I talked about sex. So she's just decided that I was going to have to change my act. I don't know. I'll never forget her face. I don't know if you know how we do it here, but you can't do with that language here. Oh, fuck you.
Let me tell you something.
It's amazing, those people.
I did the week one time. I was dumb enough to take a week because I was a coked out fucking savage at the Houston Little Club.
The Little Club?
The Little Club on the south side.
Oh, that's the one that Ralphie used to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they put you up in a hotel.
It's in the middle of nowhere, right? It's like...
It's out there. Somebody else took it over now. They sold it and somebody else took it over. That club was there for a long time. They got a different type of audience than West Gray. Let's just say. It was completely different than the last stop. So...
It's like ranchers.
I went there one Sunday night, and the owner was there, and I did my set. And he goes, "When do you want to get booked?" And I go, I called Pete. I go, "Pete, you mind?" He goes, "No, take the week." I took the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I do the Thursday night. He's not there. The wife is there. So the same thing fucking happened right before I go on stage. And at that time, my head wasn't in it like that. She came up to me and she's like, listen, I heard rumors, not here. Here we work spotless clean. If you say one bad thing, you're fired.
Oh, those fucking people.
Well, guess what? I shit my pants. I really did. And for the first 15, I tried. I struggled. I was eating death, and then I just let loose, and they went fucking bananas. I said, fuck it. I'll just take the 200 for the night. I don't give a fuck. I walked off. She didn't talk to me. The next night I came in, the husband was there. I pulled him aside. I go, she didn't fucking know. She goes, I explained to her last night what happened. I'm sorry. Danny, that was his name. I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. I go up there, and it was one of those clubs where right here is the stage, and people actually take their drinks, and they're looking at you like this. Mm-hmm. And 20 minutes into my fucking show, I'm looking at this couple, and I'm looking at her, and she's fucked up, Joe Rogan. She's fucked up. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And finally, I keep checking out like every 8 minutes, and she's getting deeper and deeper. She's closing one eye. Once they close the one eye, they're fucked up. And finally, I go like this. And she covers her mouth.
No.
And the puke. No. The puke starts shooting out everybody sideways. Like a fucking, what's that thing the kids play in? Like a sprinkler, but just awkward chunks. And then she just let it all out. And she sat there for 5 minutes puking all over herself. Bro, nobody paid. Everybody got up like somebody was shooting. You thought terrorists were shooting in the club. Everybody got up and started running for the fucking door. They had to stop people. She had a puddle of barf around her. The boyfriend left her there. The boyfriend just got up and walked out like he didn't know nothing. Here's 100. I don't know nothing. You didn't see me with me. Give me back my credit card. And I never went back there again. Once somebody pukes on stage, I can't hang out with you no more.
It's amazing, like the bad advice they give you early on in your stand-up career.
I want to shoot them all in the fucking head.
They would always tell you can't make it if you're dirty. Like they tell you can't make it. I mean, I can't remember how many times I heard that. What is this fucking pipe? Holy shit.
Somebody gave me that in Cleveland. That's the Savage stuff. We only let them out for special occasions.
This thing's amazing.
Oh, my God.
Did the people at home see this thing?
Oh, that thing is fucking tremendous.
Oh, who did this work? You know,
somebody in Cleveland gave it.
There's a whole industry, like a whole art form now, glass pipe art form industry. I mean, there's amazing artists that are just doing glass art.
I got another one at the house. The kid gave me that. I don't even want to smoke out of it. It's so beautiful.
Incredible. I need a picture of this fucker.
That's the Savage. That's the original right there. He's missing the tooth.
I need a picture.
He don't give a fuck.
What kind of advice do they give you for someone puking on you when you're on stage?
They didn't say nothing.
They can't give you advice for that.
There was no advice. I walked off the stage and knew I wasn't going to be ever there ever again. You understand me? That's what I knew for sure.
Look at me, Joey.
There's some places you fucking go and you know you're never going to go back to.
They would just tell you, like, they would give you advice. Like, when you're young, you're starting out. Like, say if you're a young guy and you're a fan
who pulled you over?
Pryor. Everybody.
Let me know the people who pulled you over.
Everybody.
That you look at today and go, what's
I don't
want
to say their names because they never made it. They'd never made it. The one guy that did make it, that had already made it at the time, who gave me the opposite advice, was Lenny Clark. It was funny because his brother Mike was a booking agent who's a great guy. Mike Clark, that guy paid my rent fucking many times with his gigs because he was one of the guys that he had a lot of satellite rooms. He had Giggles and Saugus on Route 1. And he had a few outside rooms, and he would book his brother Lenny. And Lenny was on HBO. He had done Rodney Dangerfield special. Lenny was a big comic. He'd done a bunch of movies. Like, Lenny was big. And this is before Lenny's sitcom. Remember when he had that sitcom? And I opened up for Lenny's at Jay's in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. It was in western Massachusetts. It was way out there, like 2.5, 3 hours away from Boston. And people loved it there because it was a real stage and they had real comedy there. Like, they had Lenny Clark when Lenny Clark was big. And I went up and I opened up for Lenny. It was the second paid gig I ever got in my life. And I got off stage, and Mike Clark said, "Buddy, you're fucking funny, but I can't book you. You're too dirty." And he goes, "That bit you do about Madonna, you can't do that. It's like, it's funny, but I know you got to clean it up. You got to clean it up." And so Lenny comes off stage right after his brother gives me advice. Lenny goes off stage. He goes, "Kid, you are fucking hilarious." He goes, "Don't change a thing. Holy shit, that Madonna bit had me laughing my balls off." And he goes, "Lenny, I just told him to stop doing that bit." He goes, "Oh, yeah. You should probably stop doing it. It's going to be hard to get work. But fuck, kid, you're funny." And it was like good advice and bad advice. And I listened to Lenny. I was like, his brother's a great guy and everything like that. But Lenny is Lenny Clark. So to have Lenny Clark tell you you're funny, I was like, oh, wow, that was huge for me. But his brother was giving me bad advice. He's like, but he wanted me to work. It was like, but that was the thing back then. It was in 1989 or 1988. Back then, you couldn't work if you were dirty. Like, there was no work. Everybody wanted to get on the Tonight Show. No, there was a few HBO specials that had been given out, like the Kinnison and a few other people, but you had to be somebody to get those. If you wanted to be dirty, you had to be somebody already. So what it was a lot of these guys who were, quote unquote dirty, they would have clean sets that they would do on the Tonight Show or Letterman or whatever, and then they would have a few dirty bits that they would reserve for a nightclub, and they would close with those bits. So if they ever did an HBO special, that's when they would do those.
I knew I had to be dirty 3 years in. Like I was just lying to myself. People would come up to me with that fucking bullshit. And I gave it a New York try.
I tried it,
but it just didn't work out for me.
I'm not going to ask you to do a joke, but what was a clean premise for you? I don't even know a clean premise for you, to be honest.
That's old weed.
Oh, is it? All right.
A clean premise in those days was... Oh, Jesus Christ.
A clean premise.
Hold on. A clean premise in those days was a Godzilla.
Oh, look
What
at
would
that.
Godzilla do?
Oh, you gotta look at this thing. You guys are advanced here.
What would Godzilla do if he came back into the Hudson? It was terrible. It was terrible. It was brutally terrible. I had a thing about a ship going into the